Hey guys, brand new podcast. Next week we have pushed our Vancouver shows till April, I think. I think that is, I really don't know why, but I'm sure you probably heard about it before I'm telling you about it. We still have Portland and Seattle. We have added a third Portland show Tuesday. So if we keep adding shows, I'll just stay in Portland for the entire week. I don't give a shit. We've got Fresno, San Francisco, another night in San Francisco, Bakersfield, and then I'm going to be in Austin for a few days, and I will be going out. I'll probably be doing spots in Austin. I need to write more. I feel like I'm a hack. San Diego, Las Vegas, Albuquerque, father-daughter dance. All right. This is I'm a fucking idiot. Today's a great podcast. It's with Kelsey Cook. Kelsey and I worked together in Portland. Why am I saying work together in Portland? We did one time. That's my fondest memory of Kelsey is we worked together in Portland. I was getting ready for my special, and then we ended up shopping. And it was the first time I ever spent money. Like, meaning like I felt comfortable spending money. I spent a lot of money at the Nike outlet because I wanted like tracksuits. It was the first time I was getting a good paycheck that weekend. I remember that distinctly. And we went to Adidas, and I bought stuff for the girls, and I bought stuff for Leanne. Leanne still has the shoes I bought for her Adidas. But we have a great conversation. We talk, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it. We have a great conversation. I love what she's doing with her career right now because she has taken charge of it. She's got a show called Risks of Fury, and they did a huge production down at South by Southwest. No, was it South by Southwest? Yeah, it was. Is that the one in Austin? Yeah. She did a huge production where she had everyone come out. It reminds me of when I started Something's Burning, and just the go-gettedness of like, fuck it. I believe in it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to lean on my comic friends to do it. And I promise you, Kelsey, one day, me and Tom will definitely do a Risks of Fury with you. I think you're going to love this podcast. I hope you're having a great kickoff to the New Year's. I want to thank everyone in Philly that came out. I'm ready to get back on the road. I love you guys with all my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, new Bertcast episode. Without further ado, my friend, stand-up comedian, Risks of Fury host, Kelsey Cook. We stayed in that other place. I had a hard time when we moved into this house because I was so comfortable at that other house.
Yeah. How long were you there?
2009 to now, so like 11 years. No, 9 years.
It's a long time.
Yeah, 2000. I think it's funny because I keep saying I haven't found a place to sit in this house yet because like it just isn't. It's not totally comfortable to me, and I'm gone all the time. Yeah. Like I've been gone. I was in Serbia for 3 months. I was in Macon for a month. I've been on the road now for 3 months straight. And like we live on the tour bus for the whole time. So I come home and I feel like it feels nice, but I'm not comfortable here yet.
Yeah. Well, that makes total sense. Because I forget you do the tour bus thing where there's no even coming back.
It's funny too when you have people that aren't tour bus people.
Yeah.
That are like they get on and then they're like, oh, this is pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like we're just with each other all the time. I'm like, yeah. Like it really is like like a fraternity house because I think we're gonna start bringing women on the road. Like, cause I was very adamant against women on the road, not working with me, but in the tour bus.
And why?
Because I couldn't protect them from anything. Like from seeing an errant ass cheek or a fart or things that like or honestly sexual harassment. Like I don't know what people say when they're drunk. Okay. That's a joke that's taken out of context that makes someone feel uncomfortable in their workplace. And so like I just was like, I don't. And then we brought Rosebud Baker on with us. Yeah. And we had a fucking blast.
Oh, that's amazing. She's so great.
She was. And like I literally laid in bed and I'm like, you're such a fucking dummy that you haven't done this earlier. Because I've toured with you and Taylor. Yeah. I toured with Taylor exclusively. Yeah. Just me and her for like 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like it can be a really good dynamic. I mean, you know, I was on the road with Jim Norton for 3 years and did some dates with you and Rosebud's awesome. She's a killer.
Rosebud and I think I had her on the podcast maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't I? Yeah. And then her name came up and we needed someone. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, she's probably the best fit because she's married. So everyone like,
right. That does put a little bit of a buffer.
I mean, everyone on our bus is married. No, well, not everyone.
Dave.
It's me, Dave. Andrew's been with his chick forever.
Okay.
Steve Fury's got a girlfriend. Jesus has a girlfriend. My cameraman John Mans does not. My tour assistant does not. My assistant does not, and my driver. He may or he may not. Who knows? But he will definitely shoot his shot.
He's sliding into some DMs at any hour of the day.
He is a fucking fascinating guy, and it gets volatile. But with Rosebud, my favorite thing was this was my birthday, so they decorated the bus for me that night, and they apparently the guy they got to do it fucked it up. He didn't know what streamers were, and they came in and they go, we said to the guy streamers, and you see what he brought, and I go, what did he bring? And then we kept joking. No, we walked in and it was like a bunch of women yelling at the top of the lungs. I said streamers, not screamers. And we kept doing that joke in our bunks until no one would fall asleep, and it was because it was Rosebud, and we weren't just farting and getting blackout drunk. We were blackout drunk, but
yeah.
But yeah, I don't. What's are you? How heavily are you touring right now?
It's a ton. So I got an agent for the first time over the summer. And he has booked me so solidly. I mean, it's going into like deep 2022 now, which is so exciting. It's kind of my first real tour as a headliner. It's so nice.
It feels so nice to know you will be working.
Like, we spend so much of those years coming up being like, I have no idea when the next gig is or how much money I'm going to make this year. Even touring with Norton, there would be times where he would take some time off.
That's the scariest thing is when your headliner takes some time off and you're like, cool. It's interesting because you rely so heavily on those people.
Yeah.
To pay your rent, candidly, to be like, you're like, that's my paycheck is you touring. That when they take time off, it's the best thing for you because you go, oh, that's right. I need to be that person.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people recognize that.
You have to be thinking beyond what is happening right then. I would be hauling a suitcase I could fit in full of merch down the stairs in the subway to then get to his place and then go on tour dates. Like, I was doing everything I could to make as much money as I could with him so that if there were times where he took time off, I could be okay, but it's still nerve-wracking.
How did you meet Jim?
So he had tweeted that he was coming to LA to promote his special, and he asked what podcasts should he do. And I had a different podcast than Self Helpless at the time. And listeners of that, it was called Cooked. It's not even up anymore, but it was just like a few years of me interviewing comics. And so listeners of that started tweeting at me, like, oh, try and get him on. And I was like, I don't want to be suckling at the teat. You know, there's a billion other comics that are asking him right now. And I'd never met him. But I was sitting at my day job I hated here in LA. I'd moved to LA maybe 4 months before that. I was working just like receptionist, shitty job. And I finally was like, I have literally nothing to lose. So I sent him an email and then he responded within, I think, an hour. And at the time I told my husband at the time, I was like, this is fake, right? Like, if I go to this hotel room and get my head chopped off and body in a ravine. And I ended up going and it was great. And I knew that he had like Amy Schumer open for him in the past and stuff. And I just said, if you ever need an opener, let me know. And I did one weekend with him that went well. And then I went back to my day job. And I think a week or two later, his manager sent me the rest of the tour dates for that year. And I just like cried at my receptionist desk because I was like, holy shit. So he really changed my life. I mean, he made it possible for me to do comedy full time.
Wow.
So it was from a tweet.
You know, it's so funny that Jim's a nice guy.
I know.
Because like I don't think people realize that.
No. Yeah.
I think because of him on air, and he's like a ball buster.
Mm-hmm.
He's the quickest. He is one of the quickest comedy minds. I really think he is one of the quickest comedy minds in the business. And he's so good on radio, but he's very distant. Like he's very like he's not like a jovial. He is though. He is.
Yeah.
But it's why that's so interesting because like you think of Bobby Kelly and you're like, oh, come here, Bobby.
Yeah.
But you don't think of the same with Jim. But Jim's best friends with Bobby, and like.
Yeah. One of, I mean, like you said, the fastest minds I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was so fun to watch him for 3 years because every night, I mean, he's always doing new shit. Watching how he would handle hecklers was just, I mean, masterful. He's just the best at it.
It's funny because you learn so much. I always say you learn more what not to do sometimes working with a headliner.
Right.
It's so easy to see their flaws.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so easy to go, I'm not going to be doing that. That was not received well.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like the things you like about them, you go, well, I don't want to be the same as them, but you do learn. It's amazing how much they inform you. I wonder if you could catch. I wonder if you look at the headliner and the opener.
Yeah.
If you can see, I should watch. I haven't watched Verzi's special in a while. I should watch Paul Verzi's special and see how and see what hints of Burr you have in there.
Yeah.
Because there was a guy, Tommy Johningham, that opened for me one time.
Oh, Tommy's so great.
Yeah, he's great. And he goes, I don't watch the headliner. And I was like, why? And he goes, because I start doing the headliner. Oh. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, it's like I don't want anything to rub off. And I was like, I don't think that you're gonna run into that problem with me, Tommy. You do material, right? Like I rip my shirt off and drink on stage. I think you're safe.
Picturing Tommy just nipples out.
Yeah, but you could catch. I mean this respectfully.
Yeah.
But you could catch hints of Dane and anyone that worked at the
for sure
Laugh Factories. You could catch, and then you could catch. I remember very candidly seeing hints of Todd Glass and Daniel Tosh.
Really?
And I'm just little things.
I would have never thought that, but yeah.
Yeah, like with someone like Todd Glass, he's such a personality that if you spend, it's like Ian Bagg. If you spend too much time with Ian Bagg, you start talking like Ian Bagg. Because
it's like being with a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing an impression of something that you're seeing all the time that is not a typical human. Because they're so funny and unique.
Todd's fucking fascinating. It's amazing how many fascinating people we have in this business that really that you go, I can't believe I know that person. But they never really show, like when they come to my house or meet my kids, they never get it. Like who was here the other night and they were like, he was here? Oh, that's a bad example.
That's so cool.
It was Tony Hawk. It was Tony Hawk. But my daughter's like, Tony Hawk was at our house? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, why didn't you come get us? And I was like, because you guys are always dead inside. Like, I'm always like, hey, this is Dave Attell. And they're like, cool. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's that's my Tony Hawk.
Yeah. Oh, your daughters must have.
You know my daughters.
I do. We did stand-ups doing makeup where they painted our faces.
That was a fucking shit show.
That was a shit show. That's still on YouTube. I haven't done that series for years, but
really,
that video still, people love it. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's interesting that makeup tutorials were such a huge thing. Or they still are.
They still are, yeah.
And they're mostly done by gay men, right?
I wouldn't say mostly, but there is a large community of gay men that are doing makeup tutorials. But TikTok is insane. I mean, it's just there's so much makeup shit out there now.
Can you watch that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody's For You page gets so curated that I will see
what do you mean For
shit
You
like
page?
That on TikTok. So like what
I don't follow TikTok.
Are you not on TikTok?
No, I have people posting for me on TikTok.
Right.
I am more a story person. So I want to follow your story in life.
Okay.
So I'm not and I can get very addicted to TikTok, the little trends.
Yeah.
No one's coming for you. No one's gonna wake you up and get you out of bed.
Oh my god, I've heard that audio so many times.
What's the one that boom, 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 dung, 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 boom, chicka, dum, 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 dum. Ask me if my divorce. Ask me if I'm getting through my divorce. Okay, I'm not done.
Do I want to kill myself? I do.
Then my favorite one I saw the other day was boom, chicka, chomba, 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 and she's like, people always ask about our age difference, and then
I saw that one.
Yeah, and he returns texts, and you're like, wow, he returns texts. You got burned hard by a guy who didn't reply back to text,
and your bar has been lowered so steeply.
But I can get into that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one? The one now is that everyone does.
With the head bobbing.
Well, I saw the first head bob video. So I saw the very first head bob video. The very, very first person to ever do it. It was fucking 4 dudes on a ski lift. I saw the very, very first person to do it. The very first person. I get angry because this is actually a real big bone of contention with me. Okay. Because I don't, as a man who bases himself on originality, that my words, the words coming out of my mouth, are what my intention is. I want you to hear my words. Yeah. That's so important to me, that to see someone lip sync someone else's words, I get offended. I get
your face.
It makes my skin crawl. And that's a lot of what TikTok is people lip syncing other people's words.
Well, they're comedy too. That's what's been so interesting, is to watch.
Here's the deal. I don't mind if I see a Joe Coy bit and it's a little girl doing it. I don't mind that.
Okay.
I have no problem with that. What I don't like is they say I'm not for everybody. I ain't for everybody. Get your ass out of my face. And you're like, what is that? Like, what the fuck is that? And then I go, is that racist? You're lip syncing a black person's. What I just did is kind of racist when you do a black person's voice, but you can do it in a lip sync. I mean, like, it's just, I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. So I started my own business. Now I'm working 24/7. And then it's a guy hosing down rocks. And you're like, you're a fucking moron anyway.
What the fuck is this?
He was hosing down rocks this morning. And I get fucking, there's a woman I follow. I don't want to say her name because her husband's famous.
Oh, okay.
And she, and I don't even want to like allude to her because people are fucking good.
I know. Well, I immediately was like, who could this be?
I'm going to show you who she is. I wonder if you follow her.
Okay. I have some thoughts.
But I so that is what TikTok is for me.
Okay.
Is I'm following people's people trying to be famous, which I don't mind, but they're not going about it in a very original way.
Yeah.
They're trying to be famous. It kind of breaks my heart when you see someone blow up on TikTok for lip syncing and then they go, oh, this is my shot. This is my shot. I just lip sync a Donald Trump thing and now I'm going to take my shot.
Yeah.
You know, and or and you're just like, that's not what this.
Yeah.
It's so far off from why I got into the entertainment business.
Right.
That it makes me very sad for them because and then sometimes you'll like, I saw this woman today and she's gorgeous. I'm going to pull up the chick that I'm talking about.
By the way, are your daughters on TikTok?
No.
Will you let them?
So I fucking I don't know how I did not raise, like, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but like, the words that's coming to my mind is bad.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't feel like I know what you're about to say.
Slut celebrating.
I was just gonna say sluts.
It's like women that are like their looks are the thing they do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like there was
one thing.
There was a woman today that I saw, and she was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, absolutely. Stunning.
Yeah.
And she had this video of herself with one of the songs that everyone's playing, and she's like, duh. And she's in the car, and it looks like a pretty nice car, and her husband's fiddling with his phone. And apparently her comments got swarmed. And then her response, now she has changed the caption of this video, which was going out to dinner or whatever, to I'm tired of commenting on what my husband's doing with his phone. It's like all anyone saw was this fucking dork. Her husband's a dork, and he's like trying to plug his phone in. He's what he is he's a wealthy guy who doesn't know how to dress himself, and his wife bought him cool clothes, and he wears them, but he doesn't know how to wear them. And he's like, and they're in an SUV, and I saw a baby in the back. So she's got a baby in the back. When we had kids, you never once weren't like, how's everyone doing back there? What's going on back there? And she's just lost
fully,
in this.
Yeah, in her own world, doing the transitions and stuff.
Fucking see that. I love that it just pops up on this woman. So when I say I like stories, and I couldn't really articulate.
Yeah.
There's a woman. Her name is Chloe Valentine Toscano. Do you know who she is?
I don't think so.
Oh,
if I saw her, maybe
her. You would not. You would not. She has 2,000 followers.
Oh, okay.
And I'm one of them. I'll tell you. Who, if not one person that I know is following her. Yeah, thank you. She follows Amy Schumer and Whitney Cummings. Chloe,
she's gonna get a lot more followers now that you're talking about
Chloe
her. Chloe
injured her arm in a Vespa accident in like 2009.
Okay.
And lost feeling from below her elbow. And she's a Paralympic swimmer. She's an amazing writer. She writes for Wired. She writes for Salon. And she's been doing all of this with technically with one arm.
Right.
And then she got to the point where she said, I'm done with this fucking arm. It gets in my way. It bothers me. I don't know what her exact reasons. Wow. I'm not going to put words. And she had it cut off.
Oh my God.
And I was texting with her this morning. I love a story. I love to follow her story. I love to get to know people.
Yeah.
I like to become fans. I remember I've said this so much, it's obnoxious, but I love to become a fan of something.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things that when you tell me a story that I tether to and I never forget, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I found her. She wrote an article, and it came up my news feed. I'm gonna go watch House of Gucci, and then I'm cutting my left arm off. Read that.
Holy shit.
She's awesome. Tuesday, I'll be seeing House of Gucci with my best friend. Wednesday, I'll be staring at my ceiling. And Thursday, I'll be having my left arm cut off around 3 p.m.
Oh my God.
She's a great writer. I mean, like, it's good. It's
yeah.
Great, like, so I read that and I went, I like her writing. Like, you drew me in.
Yeah.
I'll be watching House of Gucci with my best friend, staring at my ceiling, and then I'm getting my arm cut off around 3 p.m. And so she just got her arm cut off. And you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Would you do that, you think? If you're in her position, if you couldn't feel?
It's a very interesting question. And this is why I'm drawn to her story, and I haven't forgot the other one. Hey, type up, can you log into my Instagram so that you can because my Instagram is who I follow. Because
by the way, isn't that like ideal for a guy with a whole sleeper thing with jerking off?
No.
That you can
so
feel
funny.
Like somebody else is
Whitney
doing it?
Whitney said the same fucking thing today.
Really?
Yeah, Whitney said, she said the opposite, but that is immediately that's where her brain went was, no, not mine. I'm sorry. Get out of mine. I'm sorry. Whitney made a joke, because I texted Whitney, I was like, hey, do you know this chick? You should check her out. I think you, and Whitney goes, why? Because she has one arm? I went, no. I said, fuck no. And Whitney, all of Whitney's texts are like this. Huh? What? Yeah. What? Yeah. Huh? What? No. What? Huh? What? That's how Whitney texts. And so, okay, this is the person I want you to pull up, okay?
And this is a chick that
this
you don't...
is the opposite. So this is the opposite.
Okay, where it's just vanity.
So Chloe is obviously, she's a storyteller, she's a writer, so she wants you to know her story.
Right.
And that's who I am, is I'm a storyteller, and I want you to know my story. I want to tell my story. I like that.
Yeah.
And this woman, all she does, go up, scroll to the top again, go to her reels. Reels are where all she does is lip sync, like sitting in the car with attitude, and it's just lip syncing.
I feel like it's given women a loophole for, like, instead of just posting a hot selfie, if it's a day where you're like, ooh, I did my makeup, my hair looks good today, but like I can't just keep posting selfies.
You're right.
This is a new way
You're
to.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
That's why I only hang out with comics. So I only fuck with comics. You know, I show this to Leanne. Leanne just goes, "Don't watch it." I go, "No, I'm not really upset. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what the fuck's going on in our society." Because I wouldn't let my daughters. I was a little strict about this, and it was stupid. I wouldn't let them say sayings that were things people were tweeting. Like, I'm here for this.
You wouldn't let him say it?
I said, think your own words. It's very, that's sacrilege in my house.
We start the fucking trends in this house.
You do, yeah, you start.
We don't follow the
We
trends.
don't follow a fucking trend. If you have something you want to say, you say it. And let me tell you something. Fucking Georgia Kreischer is an amazing fucking writer. And she doesn't sit around all day and repeat things. And Leanne was like, "But they're just kids." And I was like, "No, I got it. But when I was a kid, the guy doing the Ace Ventura impression was a fucking moron.
Yeah, for sure.
And we looked at him and we were like, he's not funny. He's saying the thing that we saw in a movie that was funny.
Yeah.
He's not fucking funny.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing. And so for me, now to get back to Chloe.
Okay. So
I had surgery on my left arm.
Okay.
Right? So I ruptured all the tendons in the left arm and my tricep retracted. And so they had to have emergency surgery on my arm.
How did this happen?
Doing my movie.
Oh, Christ. I remember seeing pictures being like, I don't know what happened, but.
So I get out of surgery and I'm kind of out of it. And I get home and they say they put a nerve block in. And they're like, just so you know, it should be, you should get feeling back in your arm in about 3 hours, maybe 6 hours, 3 to 6 hours. It can go as long as 48 hours, but if it's not back in like 24 hours, call us.
Yeah.
12 hours later, I still don't have feeling in my arm. Now they said it was going to be back in 3 to 6. I'm expecting 3. And I don't have feeling in my arm and it's heavy as fuck. And it's, and it's starting to freak me out.
Yeah.
And so I get into my room. This is still the day of surgery,
Yeah.
That evening. And I'm in my lazy boy and I wake up in my lazy boy and my arm has fallen behind the couch.
And you didn't know.
And I didn't know. And now I can't get it up because I have no feeling in it. And so I can't use it. I can't get anything up. And so I get Leanne. Leanne helps me get my arm back up on the arm. And I said, I'm done with this. I need to get feeling back in. And I start going, move your fingers. And I couldn't move my fingers. And it made me crazy. It made me crazy, like fucking crazy. Now, type in Gabe, one-armed archer. So I had met this guy, Gabe, on Go Big Show. Gabriel One-Armed Archer, go to his website. That's a Go Big Show clip. So Gabriel injured his arm in a motorcycle accident, and he decided to cut it off. And I said, I don't know, man. See that arm on the right? So I said, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do that. And he goes, well, you've never had a limb that doesn't work. He's like, trust me, you want to cut it off. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, it actually makes life easier. I'm putting words into Gabe's mouth. He should tell his own story. Obviously, he's an amazing archer. He only has one arm.
So but him using his mouth?
Yeah, he uses his mouth to pull back the I bet he brushes his teeth religiously. He's like, I really count on these things. And so
I fucking need these.
And so he but I busted his balls the whole time. I busted his balls from a comic. And I like and he was cool about it. And the whole series, he was on for a while. We joked and I made jokes about his arm and him just having one arm.
Yeah.
And then when I was sitting in that fucking thing, all I could think about was Gabe and him going, trust me, man, you do not want a dead limb. He was like, he's like, it just, like he said, I think he got like it burnt one time. Like it was on something that was hot and he couldn't feel it.
Oh, shit.
And he's like, now you're risking infection. And I sat in that thing. I didn't get feeling back in my arm until like 6 a.m. It's like almost, 18 hours. And when I started getting feeling, but when it wasn't there, I literally was like, cut it off. I could not go through life with a dead arm.
That quickly, you were like, yeah, I would.
Oh, I immediately understood everything Gabe said to me. So when I see this article with Chloe wrote, I went, oh, wow, you've lived And by the way, she's like a para-Olympian swimmer. So
Yeah.
I see that and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, and then I go, I want to know more about her story. So that's why I like Instagram is
As
I
opposed to
follow,
TikTok. Yeah.
because TikTok is just, and it's so addictive.
It's my new favorite TV show. It's just TikTok.
It's better. It's so better than TV, isn't it?
Well, it feeds that ADHD because suddenly watching 50-minute long clips in this short span of time and then trying to sit down and watch even like a 30-minute episode of TV suddenly feels so long. I mean, it's ruining our brains. It's just
gotta be
it's
right.
just sugar for our brains, but I can't stop.
How do you think it'll affect, like how do you think it'll change us? Because I feel like everything's getting into, like, do you think people were nicer before Twitter? In real, like, in just baseline human niceness across the board?
Yeah, I do. Because I think a platform like Twitter made other people go, oh, I have an opportunity to bitch about stuff anonymously. I mean, people can make whatever handle they want, not put their picture up. And I think it gives people a sense of community to shit on something together.
Yeah, it's very seldom do you find, except with Korean boy bands, you don't find people celebrating much.
Korean
boy bands, man, they've got it made on Twitter.
That is all I see all the time.
Austin, is it getting hotter in here?
It is.
Can you turn the AC, the heat off?
By the way,
Casey Neistat's a vlogger.
Okay.
And he is the reason I got into changing the way I ran my business.
Really?
This one guy, yeah. Well, him and this guy, Ben Brown, Mr. Ben Brown.
He looks like Sean Penn.
He's a good-looking guy. And Casey Neistat's 6 foot. He's a big guy, and you wouldn't think that by looking. He's a big guy, and he's very muscular, very athletic.
Okay.
So yeah, because you took control of your career.
Yeah.
When did that happen for you?
Toward the end of touring with Jim is when I did The Tonight Show and This Is Not Happening on Comedy Central. And then I tried to take those 2 TV credits and then get my own road stuff after that. So I knew once that last tour with Jim ended that it was kind of time for me to start doing my own thing. And but I think especially this past year when things shut down, I went really hard on content. I tried to just put out as many videos as I could. I started cutting up stand-up clips from my old album, and one of them ended up getting like 14.6 million views on TikTok, and it got me like 200,000 new followers in a month or something crazy.
Really?
And so I started to just do what I could on my own, and then that's actually how my agent found me, was through, he had been following me on Instagram, and I have had a manager for a few years, and I'd always kind of be like, hey, like any interest from agents? And they were like, I mean, we're like putting feelers out, but nobody's really going for it. And I was like, what? Why isn't this happening? But I just started to do shit on my own. And then I'm so happy that is how it happened, is that he sought me out, because then you feel like they actually are invested.
When they want to work with you, you're like, nice.
That's always preferable. Yeah.
Oh yeah. As opposed to being signed and they're like, we want you to meet your new touring agent. You're like, hey man, so I've been booking a lot of stuff on my own. And they're like,
Yeah. So trying to do more stuff online, putting crowd work clips up and stuff like that. And then just with Self-Helpless, with Risks of Fury, the reason I was thinking about you're talking about your injury, I was like, fuck, that would have been a great time to have you and Tom on. Like if I could have gotten you on with him and his cast and you and your cast.
I love the way your brain works. That's fucking brilliant.
Just like
Tom works one side and I work one side.
Yeah.
Handy capable.
By
the way, when you are handicapped, you start being very sensitive to things that are like it's funny that once you have like an injury and you're rehabbing it, you are hyper aware to everything.
Really?
Yeah. And by the way, Halsing, you open this door, it is hot as fucking shit in here.
It is a sauna.
But can you pinpoint what your inspiration to take control was? Was there a moment of frustration? What happened? I mean, I'm sure you probably don't want to talk about your divorce, but like, what was like? That had to be something pivotal. I always thought, because I saw you on one path for a period,
Mhm.
and it's funny, you watch people and you kind of go, I hope they figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Did you
when
think that of me?
yeah, 100%. Because Taylor's, I mean, I don't know how the right way to say this without it sounding, Taylor's fucking bizarre. Like, she is a bizarre individual. She is singularly obsessed with stand-up comedy. Like,
Yes.
she is someone that is can be very passionate about things. And I think Taylor, I don't know if I'm trying to think of who she's like, that was one of my friends,
Mhm.
but like, I knew from the second I met Taylor, she is going to succeed.
Yeah.
Come hell or high water.
Yeah.
And then when I worked with you, I was like, she's a bit like me, where you go, oh, she's very talented, but there can be a lot of distractions in this, and that could pull her away from it.
Yeah.
And you're like, and I was like, she's smart enough to be near Taylor, because you like, I mean, like, Rogan is like Taylor. Taylor's like Rogan.
Right.
Like, they're going to succeed.
Right.
And if you get near them, then you can learn, or you can figure things out the way they're doing it, and you can see what's working or not. But like, me and you are very similar, where we are distractible. And when you got divorced, I don't mean to say that you got divorced and then I saw things happen, but it's all of a sudden I was like, oh, she's waking up every morning thinking, what do I need to do today?
Yeah. It's hard to say distractible. I think I am passionate about so many things. Stand-up has always been my first passion, but it's like, I love foosball so much, and I wanted to have something happening with foosball. And then Taylor and Delaney and I started the podcast, and it was like the octopus thing. There were all these legs, but I liked all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the makeup stuff. I was doing stand-up, doing makeup. And, and I was in a serious relationship. And so, but I thought that was a good thing. And I still think that being well-rounded and having other interests is a good thing. Because the way I'm touring right now, we called it the Hustler Tour, because every city I go to, I find bars in that city that have foosball tables, and I hustle people after the show.
Yeah, I think it's to watch your focus now. And look, I don't think I knew your you did get married, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew your ex-husband.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I might have met him before, but I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, I knew you very well.
Yeah.
Compared to knowing him. It takes a special person to be married to someone who allows themselves to succeed.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think me being married or in that relationship was holding me back in my career at all.
I don't think, you were working.
I was working, yeah, and I've always been very driven and focused on stuff, but there is a different level of, if you go from being in a relationship and living with somebody where maybe like 5 p.m. rolls around and you both become each other's vices of, let's just throw on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there goes the rest of the night.
Right. Yep.
And it is important to do shit like that. I've had to work harder on not working all the time and letting myself just do shit like that.
Yeah, but it's so healthy when you, oh my God, I'm so broken. I was just about to go, it's so healthy when you don't. Like, I am, to be married to me is you gotta, and I mean this respectfully, but you gotta not love me a little bit. Because I love myself so much that like, I just focus on Bert. It's really, I have a really hard time buying presents for people. Because
you walk into the store and you're like,
I go, what do I want?
This is what
I wanted to get the girls Canadian Goose Down jackets, right?
And then you got yourself.
And then I was like, fuck them. Like, I don't, because I start
these
going,
kids.
I go, I don't know what they're going to like. I'm going to get the wrong thing, and then they're going to like it. And then they're going to be like, why'd you spend so much money on this?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I'll just get myself one.
Yeah.
I was like, 'cause I know what I like. And then I buy presents for people, and it's the things I want. Like, I was like, I bought the girls each owl houses.
Mm-hmm. Owl houses?
A horrible gift. I'm obsessed with owls.
Oh my God.
And they were like, but they saw it so clearly. They're like, so we each get our own owl? And I go, well, hopefully we'll get them in the backyard, and then we'll hear owls all night. Wouldn't that be cool? And they're like, would be cool if you were obsessed with owls. And I was like, I am obsessed with owls. And they're like, yeah, Dad,
But we aren't.
we aren't. And then they go, and Isla goes, I'm obsessed with hawks. And I went, oh, that's right, you are. She was like, you thought about yourself and got us each a gift for yourself.
Oh.
But we have owls here now.
Do they like them? Are they into
I
it?
fucking, let me tell you, last night, Georgia May Kreischer had her and her sister had her with their windows open, and they were listening to the owls. We have owls in all our trees. And they
That's
just all
pretty
night
cool.
long goes, it's fucking badass.
People play manufactured versions of that to fall asleep. That's so cool. You have the real thing.
Dude, it's the greatest. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I got it from them and me. I cried when I heard the owls.
Aww.
I cried. I was in my front yard last
so
night and I started
sweet.
crying. I got owls. Like it goes back to what we were saying.
It's like
you know,
Hogwarts up in here.
Yeah. I'm
You brought
fucking,
Hogwarts to your
I'm the
home.
happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
I wish I lived here. I leave tomorrow.
Isn't that crazy? It's like you get to a point where you're having so much success that you've built this life that you want, and yet you have to maintain the work, which takes you away from it.
It's what's fascinating about that. I was on Instagram today, and you get caught in the threads, like the TikTokable threads,
Right? The reels, yeah.
Reels, and I thought, I wonder if I didn't love my job so much, would I love my wife as much?
Oh. Do you think part of why and I don't know what your guys' dynamic is, but do you like the fact that you guys are not around each other every second of the day?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I love that I like being surrounded by dudes. Like I loved being in a fraternity. I loved it.
Yeah.
And so I loved the feeling. We cleaned out my tour bus yesterday. It's in front of my sister. It's in front of our old house. And I got all my guys there. And and then Leanne shows up and she just busts balls and it's fucking great. And then she's like, you're a fucking pig. And I'm like, yeah. And so we tried to organize the bus. And I love when I get back on the bus. Like our bus will pick me up tomorrow and then we'll go back out on tour.
Yeah.
And I love it because I'm getting the best of both worlds. But if I woke up and like had to sell something, I don't know what I do for a living, but like sell something. If I came home, I don't know if I'd be as happy. And I think I would find things that didn't make me happy.
Yeah.
I find morbid thoughts sometimes, like morbid thoughts, and I want to turn them into comedy.
Yeah.
Right? But like, so when I was thinking about this morning because I was thinking about you getting divorced, and I thought, I wonder how many divorces are people not happy with themselves.
Yeah.
And it's not really the partner so much.
Absolutely. There's a book called Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel that is amazing. And one of the things in it talks about when relationships get into a rut, a lot of the times you have to ask yourself, am I bored with this relationship or am I just bored of me, of who I am in this relationship, of who I've become in it? And I think so, especially he and I started dating when we were so young. I was 22. He was 24, maybe almost 25. And to make it through your 20s together is a huge feat because I feel like you are changing more rapidly in your 20s than maybe any other time. So to get through all that together so much. But I do think by the end of it, maybe we just felt like, we were in different places and all of that, but we're so lucky that we're still friends. We're still on good terms. It's like really all you can hope for in a situation like that. Yeah.
I burned every relationship to the ground.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, if Leanne leaves me, I will be starting a fucking campaign to destroy her. I will be like, guys, we need to team up. Fuck this woman. She hurt me. Don't you like me? She hurt me. How can you like someone that hurt me? I actually think about cities I would move to
if it didn't work out.
Leanne left me.
Really?
She'd have to leave me. It was funny.
You'd always stay.
Tom and I made a joke about this the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna be received, but Tom was like, "Why would she leave you? Would you cheat on her?" And I said, "No, I'd never cheat on her. I would hit her before I cheat on her." And Tom goes,
God.
we couldn't stop laughing at the fact that I would hit my wife before I'd cheat on her. That would be the only reason she'd leave me is I hit her. So,
Oh my God.
but
Bert.
I look at cities that I'd go to that I know she'd never go to,
Yeah.
you know, so that I
Yeah.
could never see her again. Because
Yeah.
if she left me, I couldn't live in LA.
Yeah.
I'd be gone. LA's dead to me. She's
LA's
not leaving
gone.
here.
Yeah.
I could never go to Georgia. Couldn't be in Atlanta. She'd be there. Couldn't go to Florida. She'll be there with the girls to see my parents.
Yeah.
Couldn't go. There's a lot of places. And I was like, New Orleans. She'll never go to New Orleans. She has no fucking love for that city. She'll go to Savannah. She'll go to Charleston.
Yeah.
She'll go to all the cool places because she's a moron. I was like, fucking Alaska. I could go to Fairbanks, Alaska.
I could see you in Alaska.
I could be in Alaska.
I could see that.
I'm not manly enough, and I have a problem with bugs.
Yeah.
And during the summer, you
tough.
just breathe in bugs.
Oh, fuck that.
Where could
No
you
way.
Where could you live other than LA? Like when everyone started bailing, did you ever think,
Mm-hmm.
what about me?
Yeah. Washington.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you from Washington?
Mm-hmm. You and I had talked about that, I think, in Vegas. I remember what we were doing there. I think I had shows in one place, you had shows in another place. But yeah, I've never loved living in LA. It just felt like a necessary step to take, and I'm so happy I have, but I have no connection to here as a city. I was just talking about it with somebody yesterday. The whole city feels like a WeWork where you come in and you do the shit you need to do, but you're not like this is my home. At least for me.
Yeah.
I don't feel a sense of home here.
I don't feel a sense of home in Los Angeles. I mean, I understand I've lived here for 20 years, 24, 22 years.
Yeah. Have you been to Erewhon, by the way?
What's
this
Erewhon?
fancy, it's Whole Foods on crack. It is the ritziest grocery store ever.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I just ruined everything for you because
Why?
you're gonna go in and you're never gonna shop anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah. You have to go.
What
There's
is it?
one
Where
not
is it? Where is
I'll tell you afterward. There's one that's near here, but
Okay. God, you're good. I would have just been like, oh, it's 2 blocks from here.
No.
And then I would have told everyone where I lived.
Oh, I'm so privacy shit with like stalkers and I'm always thinking of that stuff.
I tried to pull my tour bus up to this house, and the guy goes, "Hey, your fucking mind?" And I was like, "Oh, that's right." Pulled up to my old house. They already know I lived there.
Yeah. Okay, so Erewhon, we pulled in, and it's like you can valet your car for the grocery store, but basically you have to take a parking ticket to park in the grocery store parking lot. And this is the shit. One of my friends told me this. She used to live in LA and then she left. She said living in LA is like being on a treadmill that's always set a little too fast.
That's a really good statement.
Like you never can just quite do the thing that's comfortable, because you should be able to just go into a grocery store parking lot. And granted, there are ones here that are like that, but do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, why is this like this?
It's funny, when we lived in our old house,
Mhm.
I had a bigger sense of community.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I lived there
Yeah.
because everyone, it's interesting. Everyone was in roughly the same tax bracket
Yeah.
that lived in that neighborhood, and we all walked that neighborhood. Everyone walked their dogs at the same time, and everyone knew each other, and all our kids went to the same school, and everyone walked their kids to school. And
Yeah.
so I felt more like I had a community when I lived at my old house. I mean, not that I don't now, because
Yeah.
we're still friends with all those people,
Yeah.
but not like. But I wonder if I'm one of those people that I'm like, my sense of community is comedy.
And that's enough for you though? Like you don't feel like you need it in your city?
No,
too?
I have. Oh no, this is, now that I'm thinking how broken I am.
Where are you from originally?
Tampa.
Okay. So in Tampa, with the sports and everything, there is a city pride and that feeling of community.
There wasn't when I was growing up. Civic pride. You're tapping into something I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Because I didn't have civic pride growing up.
Okay.
Because Tampa, we had the Bucks and they sucked, so no one wanted to stand behind the Bucks. It was like, and then we didn't have baseball, we didn't have hockey.
Okay.
And so civic pride showed up when I went to college. When I went to college, we got the Devil Rays.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden the Lightning showed up, and I was already in New York doing stand-up when civic pride was a thing.
Okay.
And then we won the Super Bowl, and then Tampa turned into what it is today.
Yeah.
Where people, I mean, the civic pride that was in Tampa was an old boy network.
Yeah.
Like an old country boy network or an old Cuban network.
Okay.
That was what and we weren't tethered to either of those. My parents were from New York and Philadelphia. So
yeah.
my dad, we knew those people. My dad would work with some of those people, but we weren't a part of the people who grew up in Tampa.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
So yeah, I don't feel like I have civic pride with Tallahassee. Like that was the first place I went where I was like, that's really funny you say this because I'm obsessed with civic pride right now.
Yeah.
The first time I went to a Florida State game, I was like, I remember my dad was like, it's gonna be so cool, and I was like, whatever. I was like, in my head, I was like, it's the same as a high school football game, right? And it's not.
So different.
You get there, and they started doing the tomahawk chant, and I'd never done a chant. I'd never been in a group of people and did the same thing everyone else did, and it reminded me of the first time I saw the wave. I was at Buck Stadium and they did the wave. I remember seeing it.
Yes.
And my dad was like, "Oh, you're gonna fucking love this." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "I'm not fucking getting up." And I was like, "Dad, come on!" Like I was so into it. And when they threw the spear into the center of in the center of the football field, I started crying. I was a freshman. I was like 18, and I started sobbing. And I was like,
love how like easily you cry.
Oh, nowadays I've been crying on stage lately.
What?
Well, that's fucking. I got to try to work this story out. And so
you gotta tell me that. No. For why? Just because you're so like overcome with how amazing it is.
I have a very. I think it's called survivor's remorse.
Oh, okay.
So like when you knew me, when we started working together, I was getting ready for Secret Time, right?
You had yes. I mean, you were starting to do that on stage, but I don't know.
No, but that was a special when the first time we worked together.
Yes,
I had you giving me notes for Secret Time.
Yes,
and so before Secret Time, when you knew me, then I was selling tickets in clubs. So before that, I wasn't. So like it's one of the things that really bums me out it's not thought of much in our industry.
Right.
Is I worked at Travel Channel. I was a good stand-up, and I wasn't focused on it because I was doing Travel Channel stuff. And then when I got fired from Travel Channel and I was supposed to be on this Funny or Die tour and all those dates got pulled, and I wasn't selling any tickets. It's the time I found Casey Neistat. I was a loser in stand-up. And so when you're a loser in stand-up,
what do you mean? Like
I was a loser. My career was over. I was never going to be anything. I'd had my opportunities. Nothing had popped. It wasn't going to pop. It doesn't, like, I mean, there's people that go, it doesn't pop for a 44-year-old man. Like, why would it? Why should it? And so there are people, I'll tell you their names. But they would look over you. They would look over your shoulder when you talk to them at the Comedy Store. And then if someone who had some heat walked over, they wouldn't even say goodbye. They would just walk away from you.
Oh,
and so that's a real thing that happens in our business. And there are more people at the Comedy Store and at the Improv and at maybe not the Laugh Factory. I don't know. I've formed the Laugh Factory like 3 times. And
I feel like you would be there more. I feel like that's
no, I did not like that energy.
No.
Oh,
interesting.
And so I feel like there are more people that identify with that in our business. That I then identify with being the person that walks in and people leave you for.
Yes.
Being Sarah Silverman. So I remember distinctly, I was talking to someone, please believe his name, and I thought we were having a good conversation. Now, this is very important. I think any comic hears this, but like when you feel like you're not up here in comedy, you're down here, even though you've been doing it a long time, you just haven't popped. When you get this sounds fucking super sad, but when you have an opportunity to talk to someone who's up here, it makes you feel good about yourself. It reminds you that you're all in the same place.
Yes.
And when that person their eyes change and they just walk away from you and go to someone that's hot. It makes you feel like you're way down here. And I had one night that I realized that's where I am. That's who I am. That's where I am. I remember I've told this before, but I remember I was still shirtless. That happened. And I walked outside to make myself feel better, to walk outside. And there was a comic who had the car. We were just been shopping for cars.
Yeah.
He had the car that was in the showroom that I said, I like that one. And I was like, and the guy goes, it's like $240,000. And I was like, holy fuck. I was like, who spends $240,000 on a car? And this comic had that car. Bleep all these out. By the way, if you fuck up and don't bleep any of these out, this is the best episode of podcasting ever. But please bleep these out. And that person had a girl with them that was one of the hottest women I've ever seen in my life, and they were ignoring her. And I was like, whoa.
Oh,
and now
God.
I got that, and I see that, and I have a moment where I go, this is who I am, this is where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can give up, or I can buckle down and try to make things. In my head, it wasn't like I want to be a superstar. In my head, I was like, I just want to make sure I can be this guy.
Yeah.
I'm cool with this guy. I've never been the cool guy at the comedy club. I never wear leather jackets. I'm not a hot, flashy car guy. I'm not that guy. I'm sure people can find pictures of me trying to be that guy, but I'm not. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I just need to be a guy that does this good enough that I can afford that house, and I can keep this, and then I can put the girls through school.
Yeah.
And then that. And so when I had an opportunity to do theaters and do bigger theaters and now do arenas, when I do an arena, I definitely cry when I walk on stage, and I cry when I exit stage. People don't see it. But you can see it.
They just think it's sweat.
I just cried. I don't know what the fuck. I think they think I'm having a stroke. I cried. I did the Celebrity Theater in Arizona, and I walked out on stage, and I started crying, and then I cried on stage. But it's not like I'm.
You're not sobbing. There's just like quiet tears.
Yeah, quiet tears of like when I was at Florida State, I performed at the place that I mean, this is so suffice to say, I'm not saying that someone who's had success their whole career, they don't get it. But when you have success your whole career, you go, yeah, of course. This is the trajectory.
Right.
I'm supposed to be in arenas. That's how this works. It happened for Sebastian. It happened for Bill. It happened for Joe. It happened for Tom. It happened for Bert. It's now my turn. That's how some people think. And that's okay. I wish I had that energy. I love to be that person.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm the guy
who
you walked past at the club. I'll never not be that guy. And by the way, a lot of my friends are those guys.
Yeah.
And so I think about those guys. That's what I think about. I don't identify with people who feel like they belong there. I identify with people who feel like this is their last chance getting an opportunity to do this.
100%.
Right?
And I feel like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'm always, and I think it's because, like we said, those first several years, at least, of stand-up, you're living so week to week. And even once I started touring with Jim, when he would take a break or anything like that, you go right back to that mentality. So it hasn't been until now, having an actual tour set up for myself, that I've been able to take a breath a little bit, because I can see tour dates booked a year in advance, and I can go, okay.
Oh, see, not everyone gets that joy. See, I think that's the fun part of our business.
Yeah.
Is that I know I identify with that more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
I remember the first time that happened.
Yeah.
I remember getting offers. That's like fucking crazy. Before that, it's hey, we need someone to fill in at the Miami Improv.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, I'm on a plane. And then Leanne's like, what about Georgia's ballet concert? You're like, I gotta pay the bills.
Well, yeah. You were talking about that you almost need somebody to, what did you say? Not love you all the time?
Yeah.
Because you have to be selfish to do this.
It's so selfish. And
Yeah.
You know, very few people get to tether their dream to their job, their dream.
What we do is fucking magical that we get to do this. There are times that I get emotional too on the road where I might not cry, but I'll like get back in my hotel room and be like, I just got to tell jokes to a crowd of people who paid to come out, who maybe have been listening to the podcast for years and come say nice things after the show. And then I got to go play foosball, my other favorite thing in the world, and take cash from drunk dudes. And now I'm in a hotel. It's just like, this is a dream. This is so nice.
So a girl pointed that out to me one time. He said, you know, the opportunity we have to go out and do a show and then have people want to say that they liked us. He goes, you know, people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that feeling, to just get celebrated by someone.
Yeah.
And it, you know, and obviously there is the Seth Rogen effect where Seth Rogen has had great success and he's got money and people adore him.
Yeah.
And part of that tax that you get is you get the haters. Jonah Hill's made me laugh harder than anyone else in the world.
Oh, that's
Jonah Hill's made me laugh.
So good.
That dude's got he has got a direct line into my brain because he fucking taps into the thing that I cry. But Seth Rogen's right up there.
Yeah.
This is the end, or the end, whatever it was.
Yeah, this is the end.
Danny McBride.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys are fucking James Franco, dude. And I hate that like they're not friends anymore.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't know enough about all that shit. I don't know if there still are. But like, so I don't want to shit on someone, but like, that's the tax we get. I know. I know the tax. I fucking see it online. It's funny. I guess I changed my Twitter. I don't really have Twitter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it on my phone. So if I want to use it, I got to go to a computer.
Okay.
It was that's an Ari Shaffir hack. Is
the flip phone.
He's all flip phones, by the way. And like I think he went back to an iPhone and he's like, this is horrible. I'm addicted.
I was just impressed that he even did that for a stretch of time to only have a flip phone.
Well, I wouldn't say it's the wisest thing if you're trying to build a career.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Not be able
but
to
I
take a
mean for your mental health for sure, but not for your career.
Ari definitely has put mental health in front of his career 100%.
Yeah.
Like he literally, I think this career is a way to a means to an end for him.
Oh, I see.
think he loves comedy, and that's the only thing he can do.
Right.
Other than I think he'd be a great director. I think he'd be a great director, a great producer.
Yeah.
I think there's so many more things he can do in this business. He's a great comic, but I think all of that was just so that he gets to live in Ecuador for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If you've been listening to this show, then you know for a while that you've probably heard us talk about our favorite mattress in the entire house, our Helix mattress. It's in Leanne's bedroom. I say Leanne's bedroom because that's where she goes when I snore or when she gets COVID. I am super excited to tell you that Helix has left the bedroom. Oh yeah. I wish you were on mic to be able to charm in. They are started making sofas. They just launched a new company called Allform, and they are making the best sofas in the fucking game. I will tell you right now, I wish I
We're waiting on ours.
oh, it hadn't showed up yet?
No.
Oh, so you know about this?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're waiting for it.
It's the easiest way you can customize a sofa using premium materials at a fraction of the cost of traditional stores. You can pick your fabric, your strain, your color, your legs of your sofa, the size of your sofa, the shape of your sofa, all the stuff to make it perfect for your home. They've got armchairs, love seats, all the way up to 8-seat sectionals. Are you fucking kidding me? These are going to be... Do you realize we could have just gotten Isla one of these because she sleeps on couches anyway and just put this in her room and then she could use that as a bed? Because if Helix is making this, you know this is sleep worthy. You know it's going to be one of the best sleeps you've also ever had in your entire life. Allform sofas are delivered directly to your home with fast and free shipping. Right now, you can buy a sofa from a traditional retailer. It would take you forever because we tried doing that. And with what's going on, it takes months to arrive. And you're going to have to assemble it in your house. Allform takes a few weeks to arrive in the mail, and you can assemble it in just a few minutes in your home. No tools. I am envisioning, because I know how easy the Helix was to set up. Trust me, this is going to be the most comfortable, no tools needed setup you've ever had in your entire life. And they also have a forever warranty, literally forever. To find your perfect sofa, check out allform.com/Bert. That is allform.com/Bert. And Allform is offering 20% off all orders for our listeners at allform.com/Bert. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We talk about BetterHelp a lot on this show. And this month, I am here to discuss some of the stigmas around mental health. I had a really hard time getting help with therapy. I did, because I had a bunch of things like, it's not that bad. Like, I don't need to go to therapy. It's not that bad. Well, here's one thing you need to know. You shouldn't have to wait until things are unbearable to go to therapy. That isn't true. Therapy can be a tool to utilize to get you in a better place before they get that bad. Am I right? Did I say that right? Many people think therapy is for so-called crazy people. I know for a fact that was implanted in my brain when I was a kid. That is not true. As a matter of fact, only crazy people I know don't go to therapy. All the well-rounded people I know go to therapy. All humans have emotions, and we got to learn how to control them and not avoid them. We've also been taught that mental health shouldn't be a part of normal life. Well, that is just wrong. Take care of our bodies. We go to the gym. You brush your teeth. You take showers. These are all things that you should be focusing on, just like your mind. Your mind's a muscle. Your mind's a part of your body. You should be taking care of your mind just like you take all the care of other parts of your body. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Halston is using BetterHelp. Did you know that? Yeah, maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. He'll edit it out if I wasn't. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp online therapy. And Bertcast listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Bert. That's better, HELP.com/Bert. This career is my end. Like that. This is my end is being on a tour bus. My end is getting on stage. That's
You're
it.
doing it right now.
Yeah.
Well, and talking about being selfish, you were asking like what changed and if the divorce changed how I felt about my career or the focus. And I do think that we'd have to try and find that balance of having a life outside of comedy, which you and I are saying we're not as good at. So we want to work all the time. But getting divorced a week before COVID and then moving into...
You got divorced a week before COVID?
1 week before COVID. We moved into our own places, like right as the city completely shut down. And
you can shut that door now, as we don't have to hear the fucking construction going on. So wait, you get your own place.
Yeah, got our own places. So I went from living with somebody for 8 years to then living alone in a studio during a global pandemic when everything is completely shut down. Sometimes I think people go, if I ever get divorced, I'm going to Vegas, or I'm going to go spend some time with my family, or I'm going to like throw myself into my work. None of the usual options were there. It was just, you couldn't do anything. But that's when I did start to turn more toward like, what can I do in this situation work-wise? And that's why I started putting out more clips, making more things, because there was no more vice. Because I do think we can use relationships as, you can get codependent. You can be like, well, I could work. I could write some new jokes, or we could just watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds better.
Louis, his stand-up got way better when he got divorced.
Right.
Because I think you wake up and it's you.
Yeah.
And you go, okay. Like, if I got divorced, if I drink myself to a bottle, I'd be out.
Yeah.
I'll be out.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear, if anything ever happens to Leanne, I definitely didn't do it, but I will be drinking myself to the bottom of the bottle.
Yeah.
But I would assume maybe if I was a healthier person that I would just be at the club all fucking night, every night.
Yeah.
And just be, when can I get on stage again?
Yeah. Just wanted to run new bits.
Or work through this divorce.
Well, exactly. That was...
Did you have a lot of material about the divorce?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I ended up shooting a special with Epics in like July of 2020. So a few months in, they did a series of half hours and they shot it outside. And my managers were like, you might as well. I mean, if people see it, great. If not, then
Who
you
gives a
don't
fuck?
burn. Yeah, but go. It's a little money, and then you have clips for social media. And it was my first time. I think I had gotten to try the new divorce jokes like 2 times before then on weird outdoor shows, like from
Yeah.
the bed of a pickup truck sort of shit. And then I told them in a special after like 2 other times of getting to say them out loud. But I didn't want to go up there and just keep pretending like I was in my relationship.
Yeah.
So I tried a bunch of new stuff, and I've been really having a good time doing the divorce stuff on the road.
That's crazy. Has there been anything that your ex has been like, hey, can you maybe not?
No, we actually
Is your ex a comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We would tell each other sometimes when we would have like a new joke about the divorce, just because that was what we used to do anyway. We would just run bits by each other. And so there's one I tell on stage now, because when he and I were hanging out one time after the divorce, it's such a weird transition to go from being married and being each other's people romantically for 8 years into trying to just be friends. And so when we were hanging out, he fist bumped me at one point, and I was like, honestly, I would rather have you fist me. Like, that would feel less physically uncomfortable than what you just put me through with a fist bump. So like running stuff like that by him was fun, because we could talk about it.
Wow. Did you ever think you would get divorced when you got married? Because no one gets. Do people get married and go, this is gonna end?
I don't think anybody does it thinking they're going to get divorced, because that would not. Well, I can't speak for everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
But our wedding day was amazing. It was absolutely one of the best days of my life. There are very few occasions it's like your wedding and your funeral where everybody that you love is there.
Oh.
But your funeral, you're not around for it.
I was thinking about throwing a funeral for myself on my 50th. Throw a funeral party.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that
Open
way,
casket.
and I lay in the casket
Uh-huh.
the whole time, and I just listen to people talk about me.
People come like pour a shot of Tito's on your tits or something, and just like,
I'm in the casket, right?
okay.
And we go open casket.
Okay.
And everyone walks by the casket and tells me how much they love me. This is a brilliant idea.
It's really not a bad idea at all.
So our friends are all turning 50 at the same time.
Yeah.
Roughly within 13 days, everyone turns 50. And
Okay.
so we're like, what do we want to do? And one person, this was the fucking dumbest idea. So one of our friends was like, I want to go biking through the Swiss Alps. And we're like, and by the way, I had heard Oliver Hudson and Kate Hudson had told me one of their best family memories ever was biking through the Swiss Alps with their family.
Wow.
And yeah, well, their mom was fucking Goldie
Hawn,
Hawn, Kurt Russell.
Yeah,
and
be my favorite memory too. Shit.
Yeah, I would have loved it also.
Yeah.
And then like it was great. They let us drink wine, and we had a great time. So I went, that is awesome. And then it very quickly digressed, and I was like, Sandy, you don't look like I know you. You don't ride a bike right. Like why? And she goes, oh no, it's electric bikes. I go, so you want to take electric bikes to the Swiss Alps? She's like, yeah, there's no bike riding involved. We just ride electric bikes from bar to bar and just bar hop to the Swiss Alps. And I was like, okay, that's not what I'm into. Like, why not get motorcycles? Let's make it fucking fun. Like, I'm not going to just go 35 miles per hour up hills. Like, so on then
a bird scooter.
Our other friend wants to go to Hawaii, which I'm really into. I love Hawaii. Favorite place in the world.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to throw a funeral for myself last night. But I get shot down so quickly when I have ideas these days. Fucking Leanne's like, that's dumb. That's stupid. But now that I say it, I am in an open casket. Okay. I'm shirtless. I'm in what I want to be buried in. So it's basically a dry run for my real funeral.
It's a dress rehearsal.
And by the way, they don't throw funerals for anyone anymore.
Right.
Like my friend killed himself and we didn't get a funeral for him. And we didn't get anything for him. It kind of bummed me out. So, and I thought there would be a funeral. I was like, not excited for the funeral, but I was like,
celebrate the person.
I want to celebrate his life. So everyone comes up and they say what they think about me. Mm-hmm. And I get to hear it.
Get your face right now. You look like it's Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And
then everyone sits. We do this at a church.
Yeah.
There'll be drinking.
Yeah.
And everyone sits down. And then I have all my speakers for my funeral. come up and talk about me, and I'll get like all, because I know the list. I want Tom is
Yeah.
gonna. I think Tom's gonna close it out.
Okay.
I want Rogan to speak because he'll be great. He'll say some fucking
Amazing.
Instagrammable shit,
Mm-hmm.
and like fucking perseverance, discipline, or none of these are attributes Bert had. However, he did have that Mickey Mantle gene. Place goes fucking nuts, right? I want Leanne to talk
Mm-hmm.
but I know, because I know Leanne, and if she gets into it, she will start crying, right? I'm in the casket the whole time. I'll be sobbing.
And you think everybody should have to say how they think you died?
I think what I do is I decide how I died. I then tell the speakers to allude to it, and at the end, for a cash prize,
yes,
you have to guess how I died. Oh, this is like a murder mystery. This is a fucking brilliant idea.
It is like murder mystery.
It's like a murder mystery.
I like this.
Oh, it's a murder mystery
Of you.
of how Bert died.
You should make it elaborate. Like how you died, it should be elaborate. Like Clue with the candlestick and this everything.
Is fucking genius. I hire 8 actors to sit into my funeral.
Okay.
You got to decide how they killed me. Oh, this is so much fun.
Yeah, this is great. Also, it's going to make people, I think, very grateful to have you in their lives because they're going to picture what it's like to lose you. Don't get too comfortable.
Don't get too.
Lil Wayne.
That's the fucking motto of this. Don't get too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to miss the fuck out of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a genius fucking idea.
I'm into it.
It all started with 2 birdhouses.
Yeah. I love this idea. And so.
Yeah, if your death doesn't involve the owls, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. Ooh, done it.
Oh my God.
This is such a great. This has got to be a thing already. Type in 50th birthday funeral.
Google's like, what?
You
is
send
happening?
invites to everyone. You're like, I'd like to invite you to my funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Bert Kreischer's dying. By the way, this is the most narcissistic thing anyone's ever thought of.
Without a doubt. You want your friends to come through and tell you what they love about you? I mean, it absolutely lines up.
Is this
Funeral theme 50th birthday party?
It's got it. Funeral's got to be 50th.
When's your birthday?
November 3rd. So I got.
Shut up. So it's that close to Halloween.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, because this is such like a morbid thing, I was like, oh, it should be kind of a Halloween vibe. And it turns out it's actually, because you could make it a Halloween party. Also.
Do you know what I should do? Because Leanne didn't get a 50th birthday. She had it over COVID.
Oh, okay.
I should, on my 50th birthday, I should throw a party for Leanne. I started thinking about being selfless. I'm not very selfless. and I
But it's interesting that you know that. Because a lot of people who are selfish are in denial of it or just are completely oblivious.
I was watching Taylor Swift's SNL performance of what's the song Taylor Swift's on SNL?
The 12-minute song?
Yeah,
15-minute song?
She sang a 12-minute song on SNL?
Yeah, like 15 minutes, like the whole thing.
And they just didn't do sketches?
They did.
That was the whole show.
By the way, I'm cool with that also. All Too Well.
All Too
All
Well,
Too Well,
yeah.
right.
I watched that this morning randomly because someone on Instagram said, every now and then I watch this All Too Well and I think I need one of these cat suits. And then I was like, wait, Taylor Swift's in a cat suit? And I was like, I'll check that out.
Oh,
and then I watched the All Too Well.
yeah.
And it's basically a story of I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know. But all I noticed is that there's this guy who's self-involved
Right.
and he's ignoring this beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, fuck. I wonder if I do that.
Oh.
No, I was like, definitely. I was like, I need to do some things for my wife that are like out of the blue. Because
Yeah.
she's always so like, let's go clean your tour bus. Let's do your laundry. Let's do something for you. This morning she was like, she was like, come work out with me today. And I was like, I have a podcast. She goes, come work out with me tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I have a trainer that comes here. I was like, I'm just gonna work out here. And she was like, no, I want you to come. I want you to be with me. And like,
Yeah.
it was like the way she was doing it was so selfless. Like, come on, let's.
Yeah.
And I was just no. I was like, I'm gonna get back on Instagram.
Mm.
And then I was like, I need to do something selfless for her because she always does selfless shit for me.
Yeah.
I think can I tell you the only way I can really connect with people is by feeding them.
Yeah. That's like your love language.
Yeah. Do you cook?
I bake sometimes. I don't do a lot of cooking.
What do you eat? Do you
Okay.
worry about your weight?
I did gain the freshman 20, freshman 15 in college, but that was kind of the extent of
Oh my God, I can't wait to see my daughter Georgia fat. I am gonna love her so much more when she's my favorite time and by the way, this can be in the podcast. I just never can let my daughters hear this.
Okay.
My favorite time with Isla was when she was fat.
Oh.
Isla broke both her arms at one time.
Oh my God, Isla.
And she got a haircut.
Oh.
I don't know. I like my daughters better when they're failing because like she got this horrible 45-year-old woman haircut, like in the and
like soccer mom.
Worse. It was worse.
Oh.
It was so bad that when she first got it, she cried, and then we had to go to a place to fix it, and then
Oh.
they kind of fixed it, and she was like, "How does it look?" And she was overweight, and her teeth were all jacked up, and we were like, "You are a fucking mess." And she had 2 broken arms, and it was and we're like, she couldn't even comb it. It was
Oh my God.
she broke one of her arms, and then she broke the other arm like it was an overlapping week or something. I think.
Jesus.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was before. No, but I've heard about stories about her having broken arms, but
I remember I
That
gave her
would
2
suck.
cake pops. I could not stop laughing, and she couldn't get them in her mouth. And she was like,
That's
"It's not
such
funny, Dad."
torture.
And we were
Trying to get a
outside
cake
Starbucks, and I mean, it must have been a horrible parent because I bought her 2. I bought her 1, and she couldn't get in, and then she switched it to the other arm, and she couldn't get it in, and then she
Oh.
had 2. Maybe I'm not remembering that right. But anyway, you're wait. I'm sorry. I talked about Georgia.
No, it's okay. So
Freshman 15.
freshman 15.
Love to see a picture of that.
Oh God, they're so unflattering. Just the roundest face on the planet. My high school boyfriend and I kind of followed each other to colleges that were
What college?
I went to Willamette University my freshman year, and then I transferred to Washington State University for the rest of it. But so we were in Oregon, and we broke up halfway through freshman year because that's always what happens. And I started working at the cafeteria's bakery, and I would just taste test everything that came out of the oven. And then at one point, I ate an entire loaf of sandwich bread, like sliced sandwich bread in one sitting, and I thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital because I thought my stomach was gonna explode. I was in so much physical pain. So that was a bad year, and I gained some weight then. But then I lost it, and so I went vegan for the past year and a half. And okay, so here's what's crazy
Isla's
about
vegan
this.
right now.
Okay, how old is Isla?
15.
Okay, so let me tell you some things. So I went vegan for a year and a half. I felt great for the first maybe year. I felt good. I felt like I had a lot of energy. And then I started to feel worse. I started to feel more low energy. Felt really confused on what sounded good to eat because my options became really limited.
Mm-hmm.
And I started going to an acupuncturist, and 2 different ones I saw without knowing anything about my background would take my pulse, check my pulse points, and both of them at different times were like, "Are you vegan?" And I was like, "Yeah." How? And they're like, "Yeah, we can tell because your pulse is really weak. It's really strained." They said we tried to, and again, maybe I'm gonna get a bunch of blowback from people on the internet. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm just telling you what they told me. They said that for women who have not gone through menopause yet, you're losing iron every month and you're not getting enough of it. That's what they said. Anyway, I brought meat back and I feel amazing. I feel so much better.
It's interesting. Isla picked veganism because she has migraines.
Yeah.
And she was trying to get rid of her migraines. I don't think she looks healthier. As a matter of fact, I think she looks pretty unhealthy.
Interesting.
But she enjoys it, and I'm such a fucking hands off when it comes to what my daughter's bodies look like.
Yeah.
And because when Isla started gaining weight, she was in like 5th grade, I think,
Yeah.
and she broke her arms and she wasn't allowed to go out into the yard to play. So she spent a lot of time in the library, which is ironic 'cause she's dyslexic.
Yeah.
But I was very quick to not say anything I didn't want I was like, I'm not gonna say a word. And
Yeah.
even Georgia is in fantastic shape. I mean, she works out with my trainer and she is deadlifting as much as I was deadlifting. I'm injured. But she's like in amazing shape.
How old is she?
17.
Oh my God.
She's playing lacrosse and she came in the other day. She goes, I bodied 2 girls today. And I was like, really? And she goes, Dad, I am fucking really good at lacrosse. And I went, really? She's never played. And she's like, I fucking love it. And I was like,
Amazing.
playing her senior year, never played, and she's obsessed with it. And I was like, God damn it, I wish you failed this year. Stay another year.
Yeah.
Get Isla into fucking lacrosse because Isla could body some motherfuckers. But so what do you do when you work out?
So I played sports my whole life, and I feel like it's harder to then transition to being a gym person because it's just not exciting for me. Like I want there to be an actual game happening and something to take my mind off of the fact that I'm working out. So I was in some rec volleyball leagues for a while. My stepmom has access to
You
her
have very
school's-
small wrists.
Oh, I do, which is like the fact that I play foosball competitively is weird, right? Because that's all wrist.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah,
I've never
small.
thought of you as a small featured person. But like I'm looking at your ankles right now and they're very small as well.
My ankles and wrists are pretty small. I'm short. I'm only 5'4".
I spend a lot of my time seeing how big my wrist is.
Why is that?
Because this watch got tight on me all of a sudden.
Oh, weird.
And I was like, well, I think when I lost size in my arm,
oh, okay.
I couldn't. I had to take a watch off, and then all of a sudden I put it on, and all my watches were loose. I was like, oh wow. And now it's getting tight, but I think it's from lifting weights.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what do you do to exercise? What?
I lift weights. I run stairs.
Can't you play basketball?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
pretty good at basketball.
Thanks. Yeah. So my stepmom has access to her school's gym, and that to me is also heaven. Is to get to go into an empty, beautiful gym and just shoot hoops by myself, like without trying to compete for
It's amazing.
the court with anybody else. You can just go shoot. Oh.
It's amazing. Can I tell you what one of my favorite things? And I didn't realize this until recently. I remembered it,
Yeah.
but I was like, whatever. Was I know people are gonna go, there's no exercise involved in this at all. Disc golf.
Is that different than frisbee golf?
Same thing.
Same thing. Okay.
Yeah, frisbee golf. So for me, what happens is, especially when we play with a group of people, you throw the frisbee, and then I get so excited to throw it again that I jog to the frisbee. I get so excited about throwing the prospects of throwing a frisbee another time that I jog to the frisbee, and I forgot about it. We played in Texas a bunch this week, and I was having, and I ran 3 miles.
Really?
I ran 3 miles, and my heart rate was up because you get there. And you never get really tired. It's not like an exhausting 3 miles. Like I've got to get on the treadmill after this, and I'm already kind of dreading it, going like I haven't run in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But then I measured my body. I don't do weight loss as much right now because that can depress me.
Okay.
I do a tape measure, and I just measure my stomach and because for me right now it's like my stomach was like 50 inches. My stomach.
Yeah.
And I got it down to 47 inches. Losing 3 inches on your belly is actually noticeable.
For sure,
And so I was like, I just want to get my stomach smaller.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the things I want.
Yeah.
But I don't really I came out as fat a little while ago, and I did. I forgot that I sound like a lunatic. But I was like, I don't want to hear it from anyone anymore. Like, I just want to.
Yeah.
I want to like myself again.
Oh.
Like I hate not liking myself. Like, it just sucks.
It seeps into everything else in life if you don't like yourself.
Yeah, and for Leanne, it's always been health. Like, I don't give a fuck how big you are. I don't give a fuck if you drink. I need you to be healthy.
Yeah.
And so for me, if I'm working out, I'm working out like crazy right now, but it's kept the size off my stomach.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm not worried about, I don't want to know the number on the scale. I want to know what my body feels like, what it feels like in clothes, what it feels like to get up off a couch, what it feels like. I was having a hard time getting off the couch.
Yeah.
That's the thing that when you don't want to get off the couch because it's difficult, it's really hard to lose weight.
It's a trap. Yeah.
I was having a hard time wiping my ass.
Really?
Yeah, and I know there are people fatter than me that can do it,
Yeah.
but for me,
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't the life I wanted.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I came out as fat, and the second I came out as fat, I started losing weight.
Because you just kind of weren't fighting
I wasn't
that part of your mind.
fighting anyone else. It's funny. I did another thing. I think you were with me when we did this, Alston. I did the Jason Momoa diet, but I don't think Jason Momoa even knows he has a diet.
Okay.
Were you with me?
What is that?
Jason Momoa diet. Let's just call it the Bert Kreischer's Jason Momoa diet.
Okay.
Because Jason Momoa doesn't know that he even has a diet.
Okay.
Like he's got a personal trainer. And his personal trainer said, Jason ate pretty healthy, but what I did is I just focused on the foods he liked that were healthy. And so I went, that's fucking genius.
That's so smart.
Yeah, except I just focus on the things I like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love fish. I don't often eat fish because it's difficult to get,
Right.
you know, it's just different than everything else. For some reason, fish is difficult to get. And like, you gotta, and so
harder than like wings or chicken, something that's more readily available.
you get like 9 different burger options.
Yeah.
And then you get a salmon and that's it usually.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I'm in fucking Rockford, Illinois. I'm not trusting this brewery salmon.
Nevada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I was like, okay, I love avocados. I love eggs. I love steak.
Mm-hmm.
I love chicken. I actually love chicken.
Yeah.
I love protein in a tortilla.
Oh my God.
I mean, I got to be dead honest with you. There was a time I lost like 60 pounds long time ago. I got down to 186. That's when I met Leanne.
Wow, okay.
You ever seen that picture?
I think so.
Hot Bert. Type in hot Bert. Hot skinny Bert. But that can't be what comes up. Anyway, I looked fucking great.
Yeah.
And all I did was just focus. I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I was like, I'd have steak at night.
Yeah.
And then during the day, I would cook chicken breast and wrap them in tortillas and put cheese in them and put hot sauce on them. And I fucking loved it. Look at 186.
God,
I don't
this
even look like-
picture. I have seen this picture before.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah. Great shape.
Yeah, I was and I love working. I do love working out. Like I love spin class. It was one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, so that's my diet now. Is I was like, I'm not gonna worry about food. I'm not gonna focus on food. I'm going to enjoy the foods I like. I also like to drink.
That's intuitive eating. Have you heard of that?
No. Type in intuitive eating. Is this a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you're describing, that's like a whole nutrition movement, is just basically eating what you want within reason, but listening to your body and eating what sounds good.
So what's funny is I don't really think about cookies ever.
Yeah.
I don't think about candy bars ever. I don't think about, I honestly, I don't think about pasta,
Mm-hmm.
but I do sometimes. And so I'm just I went through a pasta phase. When I started gaining weight, I went through a pasta phase and I started having pasta for breakfast.
Oh,
it was so good. It was so good. It was,
breakfast pasta.
So angel hair pasta.
Okay. Eggs?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would take angel hair pasta. I would I had tons of garlic and olive oil, and I would put it into a nest. And then I'd crack 2 eggs in the center of this nest. And then I would take Parmesan cheese and sprinkle it all over the top.
Shit.
And then I'd take a little bit of water and pour it in the pan and put a cover on it. So it would steam the eggs so that I don't need them to, I don't like them. I don't mind them sunny side up, but I'd rather them with a little bit of on the top.
Yes.
My mouth's watering right now.
That sounds unbelievable.
It is so fucking good. And I went through a big pasta phase and then now I don't really crave pasta as much. I want I love tortillas. Can I tell you, if I said to Leanne, what?
Would eat tacos for every meal.
I did
for the rest of my life.
I just did. I actually just did. Andrew, how many times did we have tacos this last month? I can't stop.
That's my
I
go-to.
love them.
Everywhere I'm on the road, I'm like, where are tacos?
I gotta be honest with you. It's amazing how many tacos are not as good as Taco Bell. Like, it's amazing how much Mexican food is not as good as Taco Bell. Taco Bell really does hit it out of the park. They've got a new breakfast grilled cheese thing.
Yeah.
You know Taco Bell does breakfast?
I do. Yeah.
Like, Taco Bell is pretty fucking good. And I just had a chalupa for the first time.
The first time.
I just had a chalupa. So I'm not
That's amazing.
I am with food not as bad the way Leanne is with sex. So like
You're gonna have to explain this.
Leanne finds what she likes and she does what she likes. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Why would I do stuff I sure try it, but if I don't like it, stop right away. Like that's the way Leanne works. When I go
That's amazing, by the way. Like that she's just like, no, I don't like this, not doing it.
It needs to be human, it needs to be touching, it needs to be like Leanne's not a toy person.
Yeah.
She would rather
same.
Yeah. Well,
I've talked about this on allergic to latex, yeah. But also I talked about this with Dr. Drew, is that like it doesn't even, it's too much for me. Any of the vibrating.
Really?
So I've talked about this on Dr. Drew, being multi-orgasmic, people who are like that, we don't like those things because it's too much.
Really?
And then the thought of it, like you risking losing sensation in your clit.
You can lose it?
You become where you need that level of vibrating in order to come. And some people don't ever get it. Like you can't reverse it with some people. And that is just a fucking terrifying thought. So yeah.
That is a terrifying thought. Yeah, Leanne's not going to run that risk. She is not a toy person. But I'm that way with Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like I loved beef Mexican melts. They stopped making them, but you can get a beef Mexican melt. You just got to tell them what you want.
Okay.
A beef soft taco with just cheese.
Yeah.
And so beef Mexican melts. Ooh, I'm having a moment. Type in beef
eyes
Mexi
watering.
Melts. Taco Bell beef Mexi melts.
But yeah, the intuitive eating stuff it sounds kind of like what you like.
Beef Mexi melt. There you go. Taco Bell. Wait, go back to the yeah. It's basically a beef soft taco. Go to that recipe. I might be making beef Mexi melts. Oh my god, they were so fucking good.
Did you ever go to Takaya?
Wait, I do know this. I don't know what it is.
You would like it. It's a Mexican chain here in LA, but it's nice, like it's good.
Can you forward
quality.
this to me, please?
Like very organic, but like their burritos, the way they kind of char it and grill it on the outside, it's fucking amazing.
You know what I kind of want right now? Baja Fresh. Do you like Baja Fresh?
I don't think I've ever had Baja Fresh.
Oh my god, Baja Fresh is so fucking good.
Is it?
Well, so let me rephrase what I think I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I am a fan of hot sauces. So if I like your hot sauce, I probably like your Mexican food.
Okay.
Salsa and beer.
Love salsa.
We had salsa and beer last night.
That ranchero sauce.
Oh, the one you dip are you talking about the one you dip?
You can dip it, but they like also pour it on their, like if you get their arroz con pollo there, it is life-changing. It is so fucking good.
They have salsa and beer is they have that chip you can dip, the bean dip. Is that what you're talking about?
That is crazy good. That is
crazy good, but their hot sauces are so they're so comprehensive. They have something for everyone.
Yeah.
And if you mix the two, if there's green and the red, if you mix them, it really fills all my flavor profiles.
I've never thought to mix a green and red salsa.
I'm a big salsa mixer. Now, the reason I like Taco Bell so much was their fire sauce. Okay. El Diablo and fire.
See, that's
are
just
my favorite.
Instant diarrhea.
Oh no.
Sounding. That's
no, and God damn it! All I'm thinking is all I've had is Mexican food in Texas for the last 2 weeks.
That's all I eat.
And now I'm going. I want to text Leanne. Text Leanne and tell her I'm hungry and we should go out to eat lunch. Will you text her, Halston? Andrew, can you text Leanne and tell her Let's get Mexican food. I'm fucking can't believe you're doing this to me. Like I'm fucking.
I haven't done nothing. You brought this up.
So beef Mexi melts, Mexican pizzas. That was my order.
Oh,
I get 10 beef Mexi melts,
Mhm.
2 Mexican pizzas, and that was my. I knew what I liked. I wasn't gonna try anything else.
Yeah.
Andrew, my cousin, and we work together.
Yeah.
He's not a very impulsive guy.
Okay.
Like he's a pretty thoughtful dude, right?
Yeah.
He just goes, I don't know. Like we need Taco Bell out of nowhere, and I was like, I love it. I love it.
Let's run with this.
And Andrew's not he's like I take that back. We both have the same like overbuy,
Yeah.
like for treats and stuff.
Yeah.
Like we're over. He bought
for
2
sure.
fucking 3 jars of olives in Serbia. Like he definitely has the same thing I do.
You're going to lose your mind in an Erewhon.
For real.
You're going to lose your mind. You have to go and then like send me a text afterward and tell me what you think.
But Andrew got the perfect order at Taco Bell.
Mhm.
He got tacos, he got burritos, and he got chalupas. And I'd never had a chalupa, and I already opened it. And I bit into it, and I went, whoa. So as I'm a tactile, I'm a texture guy. So like I don't like things that crack and fall apart. A chalupa holds it gives you enough of what you can think is a crunch.
But it holds its integrity.
And it was very plentiful. Like it was a lot of beef.
Mhm.
And I thought, if there was a way, if they could find a way to just cut down the carbs,
Yeah.
because I can cut down. So the beef tacos, what I do with the beef tacos, I will rip half of the taco. I'll let it get soggy. I'll rip half of the taco off, and then I'll fold it because I like the beef.
Right, right.
And I put like when I would order Mexican pizza was one of my favorite things in the world. The day I found out that they were discontinuing them, I bought 10. I bought 10, and I gave one to Snoop Dogg. I gave one to everyone I was with, and I was like, "These are the best things. I just want you to have them before they're gone."
Yeah.
But beef Mexican pizzas, I would put the hot sauce on. I'd do each corner got a full hot sauce. So I put 4 hot sauces.
What?
And then I take one and drizzle it over, and it would burn so good.
And it doesn't destroy your asshole.
You don't like hot sauce?
I just can't. I have IBS. I can't handle it.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you drink?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, I do.
You and I love Tito's.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have a really funny hot sauce story. And because I went to a Taco Bell one time and I had to go to the bathroom. And so I sit on the toilet seat and someone had put hot sauce packets underneath the toilet seat. So when you sit on the toilet seat, these hot sauce packets explode and it went all over like my genitalia.
No.
And it was the most pain I've ever felt.
How did you remedy that?
I had put like
He
soda.
had to buy a taco and put his dick in a taco and wipe it off.
I put like my cold soda on it and it just like didn't really, it took
the
hours. That's
That
my
is
Taco Bell story.
insane.
That's a great
Get some
prank.
aloe on it. Yeah.
That is a great prank.
It got me good. Shout out to that
Put
guy.
them right under the little rubber stoppers.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But the only thing that sucks about that prank is you're not there unless you're in the toilet seat next to it. And you're just sitting there for hours waiting. Motherfucker! Son of a fucking god damn it!
That would be incredible. Oof. It's giving me PTSD with the
Do you
latex
know what I've been?
allergy.
How many hours do you sleep a night?
I try for 8, but it really depends.
Do you know what I've been into lately? Going back to sleep. And I've never done that before.
Like still in the morning hours, or you mean taking a nap?
No, in the morning hours. So this morning I woke up at 6.
Okay.
I woke up at 6. I had a bad dream. It was an odd dream. There was it was very windy, and we were shooting a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and this group of skydivers there were 16 of them, and you know how like you ever seen those quilts? No, it's not like a quilt, but it's like a thing maybe that goes on a wall, and there's 4 pockets, and you could put stuff in the pockets. It's almost like they do it with outdoor plants that go on walls.
Mm-hmm.
And there was 4, so there was 16 guys, and they each had a pocket, and it was a big kite, and they were all holding on to it, and they got launched, and they were all skydivers, and they were all in squirrel suits, and they got launched, and we were watching. We're like, oh fuck! And they got 90 feet in the sky, and one guy fell, and he landed at the ground at our feet, and he broke his arm, and we were like, holy shit! And I said, I don't want to see this. I don't need to see this. And I walked around, and Colin Quinn was there. Colin Quinn was wearing the same clothes I was wearing. And I go, what are you doing? And he goes, stand-in. I said, what? And he goes, I'm your stand-in. And I go, wait, I don't want you to be my stand-in. I want you to be in the movie. And he goes, I don't like your movie, but I do like the places you stand in it. And he goes, come here, let me show you where to stand. And he takes me over, and all of a sudden another skydiver hits the ground. Boom.
This is your dream?
Yeah, and then Colin goes, we need to make sure they don't hit us. They're going to try to hit us because they're going to want us to soften their blows. And I watched 16 dudes hit the ground. And as they were coming, they're like, why are our chutes wet? And like, it was all their chutes had gotten wet. And then I woke up. I was like, that was a kind of horrible.
That is a fucked up dream.
Because they were in great deal of pain. And I said, I want to go check on them. And Colin goes, don't do that. And I said, what? And he goes, because everyone's hurt differently. And when you see, because they all had helmets on, when you take off their helmets, every reveal is going to really stink. It's going to be bad. And so I took one helmet off, and the guy had no teeth. And I went, oh, fuck. And I go, are you okay? And he's like, am I dying? And I was like, and he's like, let's just leave. And so me and Colin Quinn just started walking through this parking lot to get out of there.
Are you doing any drugs before bed?
No. But that's, I dream very intensely. I've always dreamed very, very, very intensely. And I remember all my dreams. Like I can go through and tell you probably roughly all my dreams throughout an average night in the morning, not now. Like if I think about it.
Yeah. Do you feel like you write jokes pretty easily? Do you feel pretty tapped into that part of you that writes jokes? Yeah. I think there's a correlation with that.
I've dreamed jokes before.
Wow.
Yeah, I've dreamed jokes and then gotten up and been like, that's a good joke. This morning when you heard something fucking crazy. So I lost my joke book. I lost it. It's fucking, we want to talk about getting canceled pretty quick. Anyone finds that fucking joke book.
You are done.
I am done.
And
by the way, and that's, you want to really put cancel culture to the test? What are you allowed to think? I trust me, I'm panicked because I know I can't find this joke book, but I didn't have it anywhere where I couldn't have lost it. That's my problem. Okay. I couldn't have lost it because I had it at my house.
So and then when your house.
And then when I got on the road, I didn't have it. And I went, oh, it's at my house. So it's at my house. I think this morning, I purposefully, and you're kind of in and out.
Yeah.
And I had a dream about where my notebook was. And I was like, my joke book. And I went, okay, this is how crazy my brain is. I go, let's travel. We don't know what happens when we sleep. Let's travel into the ether. And let's go through this house and see if we can spiritually find this joke book.
You're able to do that while you're dreaming?
I'm laying in bed and I'm falling in and out. And so I know now I'm going to sound crazy. Dreaming. I've always lucid dreamed.
Okay.
So I know how to recognize when I start dreaming, and I know how to get myself into a dream that I want to have. So I think of the same thing over and over again. So I thought joke book, cabinet, and I went, okay, I'm out. Like that's when my brain starts to think the thought that I didn't think, then I know I started to dream.
Okay.
And so then I go, okay, we're in my head. Like I'm like, we're in. And I fall asleep, and then I dream. I was dreaming that I was floating around my house looking for my joke book. And I woke up, and I got to be honest with you, the first place it was in this room where all my joke books are. And I thought, that's where I found it. And I went, of course, we have this cleaning service that Leanne hired. She hired them when we were going through construction, and they were so fucking good. They roll in 15 deep, and they hose a house down. And they're fucking amazing. God. The only problem is they put things away where they think it belongs.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're like, where the fuck is my Rogaine? And you're like, why? They don't know what it is, so it's in the spices. And you're like, oh, fuck. So
coriander Rogaine on my fucking enchiladas.
Yeah. And so I went, they put it where, and obviously it's just a dream.
Yeah.
But I should check where all my notebooks were, because if they found it, they would put it where my notebooks. But I thought of that in dream. And so, lucid dreaming is something I've done. I have a sciatic problem. I also, now I'm going to sound crazy. I have a sciatic problem in my left leg. And sometimes I feel I've been molested by ghosts. Okay. was when I was a kid.
Okay.
My wet dreams were a ghost having sex with me. It was a beautiful woman ghost. And my body would get heavy. I'd get pressed into the bed, and I'd be lucid dreaming.
Okay.
And then I would have a wet dream as a kid through high school and whatnot. Now I think wet dreams stop. I think I've had a couple as an adult, maybe one as an adult, maybe one or two, maybe three. But I've had this experience with a ghost touching me, and what happens is my body gets very heavy and goes into the ground, into the thing, and then this morning I was in bed and a ghost, I believe it was a ghost, and I know I'm gonna sound fucking crazy.
Humped your leg.
Was trying to pull out my sciatic leg. I felt my leg getting pulled, and I was
In this
like,
house?
in this house.
I'm
this
fucking
house.
leaving in a second
This
because
house
this is
haunted. This house is haunted.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so not this room. But although I do believe, hey, they passed up these walls.
Leanne did hire a person to tell the ghost to not come in here.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
So we had a woman come in to read the house, and she said there's a little boy that's trapped in this house.
Nope.
His
Fucking.
name is Max. And
Oh,
so
boy.
she goes, he likes your dog. And what's interesting is Izzy would have these weird plays. Do you remember this, Halston? Izzy would play with nothing, and it was like
Oh, I have
crazy.
goosebumps all over that. It gives me so.
And so she said, Max loves your dog. He loves your dog, and he hopes that you can bring your dog over more. So we'd bring Izzy over all the time, and Izzy would play in the house by herself and run outside and run back and forth, like sprint. And then she goes, I'm going to tell Max that he can't go into the bedrooms anymore. He can't go into the bathrooms, that he can hang out in the living area, but he needs a safe place to hang out. Can you help find him a safe place? We have a basement in this house. We're like, all right, the basement's is Max.
Why can't, if she can talk to the kid, why can't you ask the kid to leave?
He doesn't want to leave. He likes our kids, and he doesn't have a family, and he likes to be around our family. And Max is a good ghost.
He's a peaceful
kid, and and so he just has a good time at our house. And I think that's what happens with a ghost. So the basement's is Max and trust me, when you go to the basement, you feel Max. Like, you definitely feel Max. And
oh my God, that shit scares me so much.
yeah.
How do your kids feel about it?
They both are cool with it. Max has a I don't know the correlation, but Max has a rose bush. There was a rose bush that was Max's, and the girls had planted it, and I forget why it was Max's rose bush.
Okay.
But the girls are cool with it. He doesn't go upstairs because the upstairs was never there when he was there in the first place.
Okay.
So he doesn't go upstairs. He doesn't go in our bedrooms. He hangs out in the living room, kitchen, and in the back bathroom, and then in the basement.
Do you know how long he's been in this house?
I don't know. I'm not a good listener. So when she was doing this, I kind of shut off.
Great for podcasting.
Yeah, I was. If anyone's listening this far, they're like, he has not been listening at all. You start telling a story, and I go, do you sleep much? Like, I'm like a barracuda. They've been listening to my podcast this long. They know who the fuck I am now.
People want to hear you.
Well, yeah, no, but whatever. I used to take these notes very seriously, and then I was like, oh, come on, it's free. Like, if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to shit on it. I'm not going to listen to your notes. I did listen to them a lot. Like, I used to clear my teeth a lot.
Oh.
And so that was pretty annoying to do on a podcast. And someone's like, hey, man, can you not do that? And so I listened to Good Notes.
Yeah.
I listened to Good Notes, but I am who I am. I know who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm not a good interviewer. So I'm not like, like, I had Amanda Knox on here, and I told her the machine story, for fucking sake. Like, who has a woman who's been in prison for fucking 6 years on her podcast, and then you tell them your story you're famous for? Like, what fucking, but that's the thing, is like, I'm not Brian Williams. I'm a comedian. Like,
yeah,
I'm a fucking
it's a different
comedian.
experience.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna fucking, whatever. I'm interested.
You didn't know the story, and you were like, I could have gone to jail in Europe.
Yeah,
that was your correlation.
That's true.
I appreciate you. I appreciate
connection.
you defending me.
That's nice.
But all I know is that I, at one point, started telling a story to a woman that everyone in this podcast has heard, and they're like, Bert, we kind of want to hear her story.
That's kind of the point. Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you by Bird Dogs. I talk about my bird dogs all the time. You know, Bird Dogs just came out with long pants. They are so fucking badass. I went golfing in my Bird Dogs the other day. Bird Dogs has graduated. I want to say that I feel like when I first got Bird Dogs, they were my cookout lake pants. That's what I could go running. I really thought about them when I went to Alabama because I'd go for a jog in them in Alabama. I could go jump in the lake right after that, and then I could hang out, have a cold beer, grill out, go hang out with the girls, go paddle boarding. They are the best, most comfortable pair of shorts that have ever existed. They have a built-in soft underwear, and like I said, you could do them for anything. I never saw them as going to the country club shorts. That's a different type of short, in my opinion. You don't go swimming in the same thing you go golfing in. However, they've teamed up. They've stolen Lululemon's designers, and I went golfing in my Bird Dogs, and they were so fucking comfortable, and they looked so nice. They were a black pair. They had sent them to me, and I put them on, and I walked in. I was going to play golf with my dad, and my dad goes, "What pants are those?" I was like, "Bird Dogs," and he goes, "I've never heard of those," and I was like, "Oh, they're great." And by the way, I don't wear underwear all the time, but I love a liner. Like I consider golf sports. I would love a liner, and they've got a great liner. Anyway, all the new summer styles are out. They're on their website. I love my Bird Dogs. I can't talk enough about them. Go to birddogs.com and enter the code BERT, and they will throw in a free Bird Dog whistle tip football. It's exactly those Nerf whistle footballs you used to have as a kid in the summer. It's the exact must-have beach toy of the summer. That is birddogs.com, and the promo code's BERT, and boom, a free Bird Dog whistle tip football and your pair of Bird Dogs. You will not take these things off. I promise you.
By the way, I will say having a ghost play with your dog, that's not a bad situation because people pay money for that.
Someone to play with their dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Max is
or like people, dog walkers and stuff. To go, you have a free dead child.
Yeah. I don't know.
Throwing a ball for your dog.
I don't know how he died either.
It all just.
I'm not in this house enough to know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
If he's peaceful, that's nice.
Yeah, he is peaceful.
It just makes me sad and it's just scary.
Yeah. Okay, we've done 2 hours, right? What time do you have a hard out?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I was supposed to do Adam Carolla, but it got moved
to another day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you promoting something?
Just on tour.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what are your tour dates? Pull them up real quick. Well, because people are still listening now.
Yeah. There's still some that need to be added to my website. I'm just waiting for the clubs to put the link up. When is this coming out?
I don't know. That does not look like you.
Doesn't look like me?
No. But you know what? I have a hard time with you guys looking like women. I do. Taylor's told me.
You've told me that before too.
Yeah, I don't like you guys when you guys look pretty. Like, I'm not saying, but I don't know. I think you're pretty now.
Thank
but
you.
like, I don't, when you guys dress up,
Mm-hmm.
you have a ton of fucking tour dates.
And that's not even, I just got like
Open that, widen that out.
weekends.
I want to see where.
So we just added 3 Funny Bone weekends and then Acme in Minneapolis.
The Stand
and
in New York. Whoa, all Christmas. Where are you going to be for Christmas?
I have a corporate in New York at the
Christmas Day?
Lincoln Center, December 26th.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn it.
But I'll be at Albany Funny Bone January 21st through 22nd, and then Comics Roadhouse in Uncasville, Connecticut, 27th through the 29th. Valentine's weekend at Summit City in Fort Wayne.
I love Fort Wayne, Indiana. There's a great strip club there.
Oh, really?
There's a really great strip club. Probably my favorite strip club experience I've ever had is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Andrew, do you remember the name of that strip club? Brandy Strip Club, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Okay. They go in, they say, "Hey, we the place is yours. You can do whatever you want." We've had that offer a lot, where they go, being on
the road with you is such a blast.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of really great opportunities where people kind of roll out the red carpet and go, I mean, this last week we went to On It. Joe and Aubrey's. I mean, it's more than Joe and Aubrey, but On It in Austin, Texas. We went twice. I worked out with Joe one day with John Wolf, John Wolf is the best. I'm going to offend a lot of people, but inarguably one of the best trainers in the entire world. Wow. I worked out with him, told him I was coming back. He said, "Sure, come on back." Worked out me and my entire crew again for an hour and a half. I mean, great fucking workout. Yeah. Then we went next door. And then, by the way, and I say roll out the red carpet. I have to be very upfront. On it, not only worked us out twice, no charge whatsoever,
Yeah.
but they hooked us up with over 500 pounds of kettlebells and 5 to 6 boxes of supplements for our tour
Oh.
bus. They decked out our tour bus to
That's
like stay
incredible.
healthy. Fucking on it's amazing. Went next door to Kuya, right? This fucking place. We walk out on it, and this girl, Danica, comes out and goes, "The machine." And I was like, "What's up?" And she was like, "I'm a big fan. I would love for you to come and take a look at our facility." And I was like, "Of course." I go, "What do you do?" She goes, "We do sauna, polar plunge, and IV drips." I went, "That's my wonderland. That's all the shit I do."
Yeah.
And so then we spent an evening at Kuya. They once again rolled out the red carpet. They gave they have deprivation tanks. They put us in deprivation tanks for an
Damn.
hour each. And by the way, we have a group of 6. Put us in deprivation tanks. We saunaed, we polar plunged. We saunaed, we polar plunged. It was fucking amazing. We had some great teas and then went out to a great dinner. We went shooting in Tempe in Phoenix, Arizona at a great place. This
Damn.
guy Brian who runs it, my buddy fucking I can't remember his name right now. Unbreakable Journey is his name on Instagram.
Okay.
I can't remember his name right now. It's beyond me. He helped Chase with when he was paralyzed.
Mm.
Scott Flint, Scott, they took us to this great place. We shot 50 caliber rifles. We shot guns. I mean, I got to be honest with you. And then we went to obviously Jaguars. Oh wow, look at that. And that's us at the gun range. So these are
Nice.
great pictures. Where do we get those? So but it's a lot of fun. So this place in Fort Wayne, Indiana, comes to the show. They're like, "Hey, come to the strip club. It's yours, whatever you want." And
Okay.
we're like, "Yeah, I love strip clubs. I grew up in Florida. I
Okay.
love strip clubs." Now, to be fair, to everyone listening, there are no rules. Leanne puts no rules on me when I go to a strip club. She's like, "Have a good time," but I have rules. I have rules
For
based
you.
on
Yeah.
based on an experience at Christie's in Cleveland, Ohio. I was like, okay, I have rules. So
What happened in Cleveland?
the woman was trying to make some money, and I was like, "Hey, that's not cool with me."
Yeah.
Like in order to have to go to bed that night, I have to feel like I have no guilt on my heart. You
Yeah.
can get a lap dance, but I have certain rules that I follow,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I don't really get lap dances anymore. That was
Yeah.
more like a younger guy thing. Actually, I think take that back. Last lap dance I got was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. It was fucking awesome. It was my favorite lap dance I've ever gotten. So I stopped doing lap dances for a long time. I think when I started working on Travel Channel, so when I was 36, it was
Okay.
the last time I got a lap dance.
Until
on record.
recently in Fort
So
Wayne.
we go to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Owner of the club comes to my show. He's like, "Come by the strip club." I was like, "Actually, this is the end of the tour. We're done.
Yeah.
We're just driving home. Why don't we all go to the strip club together? Get our tour bus guy, get the comics, get Andrew. We'll all go to a strip club. We'll have a good time."
Yeah.
Everyone's married, so it's except for Ron. And so we go in and I give everyone cash. I pull out like whatever.
That's so nice. Yeah.
I get like, $500 out or whatever, and I give everyone $100. I go, "Have a good time." It's not a ton, but it's nice.
Oh,
I
super
went to a strip
nice.
club with take this name out. And so and he was with he's in college in the city that I was in.
Yeah.
And his dad said, "Take my son out, have a good time."
Yeah.
Don't worry that it's my kid, have a good time. So I took him to a strip club. What I did is I took out $1,000 and I said, "Here's $500.
Yeah.
Can I get 5 girls to just be hanging around us the whole night? Just hang out with us. No expectations of anything. Just here's $100 to each of the girls. Just don't go anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
And just so you're talking to girls and you're having a good time." And then I gave all the kids another $100 and I said, "Have fun. Go get lap dances. Go. It's not your money, so have fun with it. That's how you should feel at a strip club."
Yeah.
Best $1,000 I ever spent in my life. Trust me when I say it.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And so we did that at this club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. What was the name of it again?
Jaguars.
No.
No.
What? Brandy's.
Brandy's is right.
So I give everyone money and then I go get a drink.
Yeah.
I enjoy strip clubs, but just on the outside. I like to sit in the seat, talk to my buddies, and tip strippers, whatever. This girl comes by and she's cut. She's done work for the night. and it's snowing. It just started snowing, so she's covered head to toe. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm the biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan." And I was like, "Really?" And she goes, "Oh fuck, I wish I had known you were coming in. I wouldn't have gotten cut. I would have stayed, and I would love to give you a lap dance." And I said, "This is interesting." I said, "I have a bit about getting a lap dance. It was a bit that I worked that could never work well. 'Cause the thing I like in a lap dance, the thing I like about sex is the vulnerability. The fact that someone's showing you a side of them that they don't show to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think that's the cool thing about having
sure.
sex with someone. So that's why I've never been into promiscuous people, and that's why I've only had sex, with a very small number, six women.
Yeah.
And so I like when you share that. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And that you miss that in a lap dance.
Yeah.
You confuse naked woman with sex. In a lap dance, it's just I'm naked. This is what it feels like. And I'm going to show you intimacy by just moving slower and closing my eyes. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
So the bit I used to write is, I want a woman to get naked. I want her to have all her clothes on. I want a lap dance where they have all their clothes on. And then I get to see the impression of her belt in her waistband. Like a belt buckle bump in her waistband. or I want her to keep her socks on because it's cold. I want to see the vulnerability.
Okay.
Like, that's what's sexy about sex. And that, I think that it was a bit that I was working on and never could.
Yeah.
So I said to her, "Actually, I'll tell you what, I would love to get a lap dance from you right now as you are." I said, because
okay.
I have a bit and I've wondered if I would like to play it out, see if I could figure this bit out.
Yeah.
She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Right now, like with you all your clothes on, like don't move anything. Keep the backpack on, keep the purse on.
Shut up. Keep the backpack on.
Yeah, come over and I would love for you to give me a lap dance." And she was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, I'll do it." And I was like, "Cool." And it was hilarious. We were crying laughing because
Did you get hit in the face with a backpack?
No,
She turned around.
I don't mean to say that, like, I got to know the person.
Okay.
Like, she goes, "Okay, well, I don't even know where to start." Like, it was all of a sudden you took her out of her element.
Yeah.
It was like doing outdoor gigs where you're like, I know I can do this. I've never done this before.
Yeah. Or in the round the first time where you're like, oh, I have to keep moving.
Yeah. So she started with her jacket.
Yeah.
And then went to take her top off and was like, "Oh my God, I'm like wearing a sports bra." And she apologized for her bra. And I went, "This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is everything that real people do."
Yeah.
And then she had to take off her snow boots. And she had to sit down.
And
And I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. She got down to her panties and her bra and was like, "I can't do this. This is not, I'm done. And we were laughing so hard. We were laughing so fucking hard. And she just put all her clothes on and sat next to me. And I was like, that's almost more fun than getting a lap dance. And then at the end of the night, they were like, this one very, very attractive girl was like, "Hey, the boss says, you haven't really gotten a lap dance, so I want to give you a lap dance for free." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I figured whatever.
Yeah.
And so I said, typical thing you'd say at a strip club, "What are the rules? Like, what rules do you have?" And she's like, I don't mean to put the club on the spot, but she goes, "Boss says there's really no rules for you. You're famous." And I was like, I said, "No rules?" And she goes, I mean, yeah, kind of. And I went, "Cool." And I FaceTime my buddy Cowhead. And she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm FaceTiming a friend. If there's no rules, this is how I break the rules."
Oh my God, Bert. What the fuck? What did she do?
She was like, "Okay." And then Cowhead didn't answer.
So you just
Cowhead didn't answer. It was like fucking 2 a.m. in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I was like, I was like, "I'm going to FaceTime my wife next." And she was like, no. I go, "That's what fucking, like, that's where my brain goes. Like, I'm not going to fucking play with her tits. I'm going to fucking FaceTime a friend." Like,
you need to fucking share this.
yeah. I was like, "I'll fucking Instagram live it,or fucking like that's where, like," I walked into a strip club one time in Dublin, Ireland with my buddy Cowhead and my buddy Galvin. And it was right after my experience at Christie's. And so I had $600 in my pocket and I gave it to Galvin. I said, "I'm never getting another lap. And I don't know what the rules are in Dublin.
Yeah.
I've been in strip clubs where the rules are bizarre. And
Like what?
like I went to one I went to one time in South Africa, and the woman goes, would you like touch or no touch? And I went, huh? And she goes, touch or no touch? Lap dance. And I go, hold on.
It's a no-touch lap
This is before I got on Travel Channel. I said, who the fuck gets no touch?
Yeah.
Like everyone's gonna do touch.
Yeah.
Right? I go, yeah, touch. And then she goes, okay. I figure you could play with her ass, a whole touch of her ass or something.
Yeah.
I get in the room and she goes, take your pants off. And I went, what? She goes, you said touch. Take your clothes off. And I went, oh, no, I'm sorry. I want no touch. I was like, oh, I want no touch.
He was asking for you.
Yeah. And I was like,
for
oh,
them
no,
to touch
yeah.
you. Yeah.
And then I walked out and they were like, you got touch? And I was like, nope, I got no touch. That's fucking aggressive.
Dressing on the side.
Yeah. It's funny because Leanne went to Christina Pajinski's bachelorette party
Uh-huh.
and they had a male stripper. And Leanne called me and she goes, hey, there's a male stripper here. I wondered if I wanted to run it by you to see if I could get a lap dance. I was like, have we been supposed to calling each other about these? I was like, yeah. I go, you can get one, but I don't think you're gonna like it.
I think I owe you about 74.
Yeah.
We're keeping track.
She goes, what do you mean I'm not gonna like it? And I go, get the lap dance. And then she called back minutes later and was like, that was disgusting. I go, what happened? And she goes, he basically painted my face with his cock. Like just whap, 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 whap. She was like, ah. I was like, yeah, I know what you like, and it's not what they do.
So she wouldn't like Magic Mike in Vegas?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
That is my favorite show.
Really?
Yeah, I love
And they
it.
bring you up on stage and like kind of like
Mhm.
hump your face and
Yeah,
stuff.
they do like a whole thing. I actually I was in the callbacks to be the host at the Vegas live show.
Really?
Yeah. And then I ended up going to somebody else, and now she and I are like super close. I went to the show and watched her, and I was like, oh, she's perfect. Like we're totally different. And I went up to her afterward. I was like, I was in the callbacks for this, and it's so cool to see that you got it because this is like absolutely meant for you. And then we just became really good friends.
Liam would not like Magic Mike.
Interesting, because that is for so many women super exciting to be in a room full of the hottest guys, and you're getting so much just like individual attention. You're drinking, it's so much fun.
Really?
But
Maybe I
you
don't know
think-
what Magic Mike is. I thought so. I'm only thinking of the ones that, and there's, for lack of better words, the one that black women do. You ever seen the black women?
I don't think so.
T-
So at Magic Mike, you're not getting like slapped in the face with a dick.
okay, that's not.
You're never
yeah.
seeing dick.
Oh no, these are. This is the dick is in like a elephant holder.
Like
the ones I see.
okay,
Oh, this is not. So I was a male stripper for a day.
for this?
No, in Vegas.
Like in real life.
In Vegas, yeah. I was a male stripper for one day.
What?
Oh, is this what the Jabberwockies do?
They're
when-
really
when
they're
not-
actually all very talented. So that's what they
Oh,
try to
this
show
looks-
is like it's not the typical Thunder from Down Under cheesy firemen
Okay.
costumes. They're actually super fucking good.
And so, how naked did they get? Or about
You
to
can see an ass,
Okay.
but that's the most you see. You never
Okay.
see
So
an
this.
actual dick.
So we did this when I was a stripper. We did this, but
Okay.
it was a lot of like humping them and humping their face
Yeah.
and like putting your dick on them,
Okay.
and they would grab your dick, and they were in control. Like they could sexually assault you, pretty much.
Well, it's interesting to talk to some of the guys about it because they've had women like leave bite marks on them and scratch marks. Like women will also go crazy on them
So type
in a way
in
that they're not comfortable with.
black male stripper. So these are the ones I've seen.
Okay.
These are the ones that I worked with.
Okay.
And it was yeah, look at you're gonna have to go to fucking Pornhub for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Let life of a black male exotic dancer. Like these guys. Okay, go to the one. No, the bottom one. I think the bottom one. Yeah. Look at this. And so
Jesus.
it's all black women, and man, this shit gets fucking insane. Fast forward until his cock's out. Oh. And so like, oh my god. Yeah. So these are the ones I've
What?
seen. Yeah.
So, is that just like a sock on his dick?
Yeah. And so
Oh, okay. That's not happening at Magic Mike.
okay, so that's what I thought was happening at Magic Mike. And I was like, can't believe Leanne would not like this show.
Wow.
And so basically they just mimic fuck you. And I think they might, maybe I should have a black male stripper on my show and talk to him. Go to this video is inappropriate for some users. This is the one we want.
This is
Incredible
good shit.
Productions presents the Blackout Everything. Look at this. Okay, yeah, this is the ones I'm talking about. Great fucking dancers,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Look at this.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Whoa.
This is pre-COVID.
Okay, so you're just watching people have sex.
I
Basically, at
think
the show.
they may fuck a couple of them. Look at all the money in his pants. Look.
Oh my. Okay, no, that is not.
So wait, this is
happening at
not
Magic
what
Mike.
happens at Magic Mike?
That is not what happens. They're not rubbing your clit at Magic
That's what
Mike.
he just did on this.
Yeah.
He is very flexible.
Oh my God.
So this isn't what happens at Magic
No,
Mike's?
no.
So can you understand that when you were saying that story, I was like, this doesn't sound like you.
Because you thought I was saying that I was gonna be the
Look,
host.
he's holding her by the neck and he's carrying her around like an animal. Look at this.
She's having the time of her life.
She loves it.
This is lawless.
For people listening, he's wearing spandex.
I think they're Spanx. I think they're Spanx.
They're
Spanx.
yeah.
But they're see-through Spanx.
The outline of his dick is intense.
And by the way, I think he's hard.
I don't know how you
By the way, I could really he is an ex-gymnast, obviously.
Yeah.
There's no way. By the way,
His
no wonder he's so ripped.
dick is insane.
So this is what we did.
Okay. So that's different.
He's definitely a little chub.
Look at this.
One-handed.
Oh my God. First of all, you could not do that to a white woman. She'd have her teeth broken out. The Blackout coming to DVD April 2012. Wow, that was a while ago. I mean, this is what I'm used to seeing.
Okay, no. So at Magic Mike, they have female hosts. It's basically like Jada Pinkett Smith's role in the movie.
Oh, whoa.
Oh my God.
He
and then
just
it
took
cuts
his
right
dick
before
out. He just took his dick out.
This is nuts. Yeah, no, that's not happening there.
So you never see their dicks? Or they just in
No,
bathing
Never see their
suits?
dicks. Yeah.
Boo.
Now that we're saying this,
But
I'm like,
do you find, would you, so I think, by the way, I could just watch this all day.
it is.
Do you find this sexy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep scrolling. Let's get to where is.
You're gonna be
This
like,
is
what
in-
did you and porn do? What did you and Bert do? We just watched porn.
We just watch.
We just watched porn
We
together.
just watch ebony porn. Look at this. See, this is the outfit I'm talking about. So you see the little like.
So
the
that's
little,
his dick. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the outfit I wore. Something like that. I still have it.
And why were you a stripper for a day?
It was for a TV show.
Okay.
Yeah. And so you get an outfit like that. So it's, and by the way, I was also 186 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, I was 186 pounds.
So it's the same time as that. Okay.
And say, what?
Said it was at the same time as that.
Yeah,
You were
yeah,
stripping
yeah.
at that. Okay, got it.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, what did you think I said?
No, I didn't realize that when you were doing the stripping, it was when you were at.
Yeah, I was
186.
when it was attractive.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
go in, and by the way, I also had a chest infection at that time. Oddly enough, just random little sidebar. So I was getting winded very quickly, and this was the most exhausting job to dance with women like this. Was so tiring, so
Yeah.
quickly. And in the interview, I'm just coughing, going like, I can't do any more of this. And these guys were not winded, and they were so good. Their body control was it was like a great white shark. And I say that because I'd been in the water with a great white shark the week before,
Yeah.
and they move with such intention.
Such precision.
A
Yeah.
great white shark, when it wants to be on you, it is on you. It doesn't make any mistakes on its movements. And these guys were the same way. They were taking women in a chair, and they were manipulating women in a chair so effortlessly. Like the way that guy just grabbed her and
Yeah.
flipped her up. They had these moves that they knew would work.
Yeah.
And I just brought a fucking kind of overweight woman up on stage, and I couldn't get her off the fucking chair. I couldn't do anything. She wasn't overweight, but she was probably like 170 pounds, and it was just a little heavier than I was ready to manipulate.
Yeah.
And she was just grabbing my dick, and I was like, okay. And I don't have a big dick at all, and so like it was just like she was like, eh.
Just disappointed.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
2
for
out
her.
of 5 stars on
And-
Yelp.
But these guys were very, very cool. And
Yeah.
a lot of it was you know where it was? Upstairs of Olympic Gardens in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Olympic Gardens is the male strip, the male fail. I think Olympic. See if Olympic Gardens has this. And what was really great is the not giving away too many. Hopefully not. Olympic Gardens. Oh, so upstairs was male. If I'm not mistaken. Well, at least this night it was male. Yeah, gentlemen's club, male review, and so I was part of the male review. And so what was great was they were like, I was like, I'm nervous as fuck, and I do not like when a guy gets nervous, they don't have big dicks,
Right.
and they were like, go downstairs for a little bit. And I was like, what? And go downstairs. Tell one of the girls downstairs. Just talk to them. And so I walked downstairs, and this totally new girl just comes and sits next to me and starts talking to me and touching my arm. And then I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And I went upstairs, and I was like, I'm ready. That really works. And he was like, yeah.
Quick fix.
Yeah, quick fix. And he's like, if you have a real problem, go downstairs, let him know. And I was like, and he's like, it's common decency when we're working together, obviously. And so,
Nice.
and so they were coworkers.
Yeah.
So it was like, and it was really fun. And then I went to a gay strip club that same night. I went to a gay strip club in Las Vegas, and I had to do my dance, and I got booed off stage.
Their standards are pretty high at those clubs.
I got booed off stage. Do you know who won? A male drag queen. I think that's the way you politically correctly say it. Or I don't know what that person had a penis. And they didn't play music. They played Lisa Lampanelli's stand-up album.
Shut up.
And lip synced Lisa Lampanelli's stand-up album as they got undressed. And it was fucking hilarious.
How is there not video of this?
It was
It would break the internet.
Type in drag queen with Lisa Lampanelli. Can I tell you
Wait.
what's crazy?
I think
I
I
gotta
tried
pee.
to
Go
look that up.
pee,
Go
go
pee.
pee, go pee.
Where's
Right there. It's funny that one time I wanted to meet Lisa. I knew Lisa Lampanelli when she was a very different comic.
Yeah.
And I knew her at the clubs, and I was doing radio with my friend, and she was in Tampa, and I was just doing third mic because it was I wasn't selling any tickets. My buddy let me do radio with him, and she wouldn't do radio with me. She wouldn't be on with me, and all I wanted to tell her was how I was going to let her do radio. I wasn't going to fucking interrupt her. But I wanted to tell her about that drag queen.
That would be cool to know.
It would have been cool to know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Lisa's probably a very different person than she was then.
Didn't she do like motivational
quit.
speaking though?
She quit comedy.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I think I don't know, but I think that life was kind of rough for her.
Yeah.
I think that and I would never want to add on to that. That's why I'm trying to be pleasant.
Oh yeah.
She wasn't very pleasant to me. And the person it's funny, the person I knew at the New York Comedy or Boston Comedy Club was not the same person that was in the lobby doing radio that day. And I was so shocked that is what happened. And I think things were tough for her. I don't know. I would be curious to know about her journey because she was one of the only theater comics.
Yeah.
She was the biggest. She was like the biggest. I mean, I say now, like, we're performing at a time where comedy is thriving.
Yeah.
And I think people want it and need it. She was doing it when it wasn't thriving, and she was doing it at the highest level.
Yeah. When was that?
2004, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
She just recently, I think she made so much fucking money. She moved to the desert and was like, what makes me happy? I think
Yeah.
you get to a place where she's alone all the time.
Yeah.
It's fine if it's me, but if you're wondering, what your life is going to be, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're alone a lot. Do you take people to open for you?
I do. Yeah. I have a few different friends that I kind of try to spread it out between. Some of them are East Coast, some of them live on the West Coast. So I kind of try to book it like that. But it's so nice. It's so nice to have somebody on the road that you're friends with and that can, especially who can like come out to the bar with me afterward for the foosball stuff and get some clips for social media. And you do such a great job of going and doing stuff on the road during the day. Because you have to.
You have to. If you don't, you can lose your mind. It's really nice there are the days where you go, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to fucking not do shit today.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I can put an activity in during the day, that makes it, even if it's like just a hike.
Yeah. You have to break the day up a little bit. You can't just be in the hotel room all day.
Yeah, I tell you, you would love a tour bus.
It sounds like I fucking love it.
You would love a tour bus.
And the activities, like all this stuff, I'm really big on that now. Because Jim and I, we didn't do much.
Jim's not an active guy.
No, we wouldn't do that much, especially during the day.
Can you
on
imagine
the road.
watching Jim Norton play disc golf? I can't imagine him doing much other than, it's what we love about Jim.
Yeah.
It's just him shitting on whatever the fuck you think is cool.
I have bits on stage about touring with him now where because his favorite thing to do is to humiliate people in public. And I made the mistake of telling him that I embarrass really easily for a comedian. Like, I'm not great at just rolling with shit if you humiliate me. And he milked that every day on the road for 3 years. When we were in public, he would constantly accuse me of shoplifting.
Oh, that's fucking great.
We'd be like checking out at a CVS pharmacy and just deadpan the way he does.
Yeah.
In front of the cashier, he would turn to me and go, "Are you not going to pay for all the things in your purse?" And I would fucking crumble. I couldn't handle it. And he did that all the time.
He is just, there's two types of comedians. I think there's probably more in our, yeah. There are cool guy comedians,
Mhm.
Guys that don't like to be the butt of the joke.
Mhm.
Guys that I wonder sometimes why they got into comedy.
Yeah.
Like what got, not meaning like why would you do comedy, but like what got them into comedy, because
What
they're not
broke
silly
you.
people.
Yeah.
Like I'm a very silly person. I love
Mhm.
games.
Yeah.
And Jim Norton is someone who is, for lack of better words, and I think there's a better word than silly. I remember one time when I went into the this is 20 years ago. I kind of knew Jim, but
Yeah.
not really well.
Yeah.
I went up to the cellar.
Yeah.
And I got up to the bar, and Jim was sitting at the bar, and I said, I was trying to get the bartender's attention, and I said, "What's his name?" He goes, "Derek." I went, "Okay." I go, "Derek, Derek, Derek," and then he just turns around and goes, "My name's not Derek," and Jim's laughing.
Yeah.
And it's like
shit like that.
those types
all
of
the
people
time.
they're the best.
Do you know Kenny, Club Soda Kenny?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Kenny is not enough people celebrate Club Soda Kenny. He is the fucking greatest guy. He really
he's
is.
the best. So I would travel with I don't know if like your daughters have ever gotten this, or Leanne. If you buy something on victoriassecret.com, sometimes you'll get this like free tote bag with purchase.
Yeah.
And they're like really trashy. I mean, you should just throw them straight in the garbage. I used it as my day-to-day purse for 7 years. Like, I would travel with this thing. It says Victoria's Secret in big letters on the sides. It's so obnoxious. And Kenny, we would get to the airport at like 5 a.m. and you look so homeless at 5 a.m. at the airport,
Yeah.
just disheveled. Nobody's trying. So I would look just greasy, gross. I'd be in sweatpants and I'd have this bag. And when it was dead quiet at 5 a.m. in the airport, everybody's just shuffling about. Kenny would shout, "Victoria's Secret model coming through." And everybody would stop and look at me
Oh.
And like at first kind of with wide eyes thinking that maybe, and then they would all go and just walk away. Like that mind fuck where you can watch 100 people decide in half a second, like, no, she's not. You're like, this is how I'm starting my day. It was just constant hazing like
I
that.
love that. I love all of that. That makes me, when you think of games,
Mm-hmm.
like little things to make yourself giggle.
Oh,
It's the best part of this job.
he's the king of it.
Last night we were sitting in the watching Yellowstone with some friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I said to, like, this is the way my brain works. I said, if you had to do a retail business of one thing, what would
Mhm.
you do? You have to open a shop up, and it's just kind of one thing.
Yeah.
What would you do? And everyone's like, why the fuck would you think that? And I go, you guys don't think like, and I'm sitting here going, not everyone has 3 options. Like I have 3 options. And they're like, what makes you think of that? And I was like, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
And Leanne goes, what's wrong with you? And I go, she goes, you're not watching the show? And I go, no, I just thought, what retail would you do? And she goes, I don't know. No one fucking thinks about retail. She goes, what would you do? I said, either pickles or microbrewed root beer. And she was like, pickles? I go, yeah, I'd love to get into pickling stuff. I think that would be really cool to have like a legit, like fucking, and really get into it. And like, and do some, like, but what's crazy about it is I go, I've thought about the life I'd live if I did choose to make pickles and root beer.
Yeah.
And I know where I'd live. And I know what dogs I'd have. And I know what I'd name my kid. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what, and then there's people that like, and then there are people that are like, just like, Tom's not like a silly, Segura's not like a silly guy.
Yeah.
It's a pretty serious guy. But he likes to giggle probably more than any human being I know.
Yeah.
And so but Tom's like a cool guy comic.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy, and
Yeah.
his stand-up is like, he's a fucking, I don't know.
Can I ask you something?
Please.
When are we going to play foosball? Because I don't think in our entire friendship we've ever actually played.
No, we can play whenever.
We got to make this happen. You and Tom are my most requested guests, I think, for Risk of Fury.
Come down to Austin next time. Figure it out. Come
Okay.
down to Austin next time we're in Austin. We're in Austin in January. We're in
Okay.
Austin. Well, I'm in Austin because that's the easiest time to get both of us.
Right. We tried with Tom at Moon Tower a few months ago, and he couldn't do it.
That looked so fucking awesome.
It was the best.
It looked so fucking awesome.
Thanks. It was a great time. And we got to shoot 4 new actual episodes of the web series, and then we shot the tournament as well. So the new episode with Dan Soder and Big J Okerson comes out in like 2 weeks. And it was a blast. It's so
looks
fun.
awesome. I'm really glad that you're doing that. I think it's just
Thanks.
really cool. Like I said, it's really cool to see you succeed. It's cool to watch.
Thanks, Bert.
I think you'll there's not a lot of people that it can, I don't know the right thing, but I'm trying to think of the right thing to say, but like, it's not often in this business that people like watching people that open for them blow up.
Yeah.
It's not like certain people can, and you know someone who loves watching people blow up is Louis C.K.
Oh, yeah.
He sent me very kind messages, and I've hung out with him, and I kind of was like, I want to make sure I'm that guy, because it's very easy to watch people who especially like it's very easy for me to celebrate you and Taylor right now.
Thanks.
And Whitney. Not Whitney's always been ahead of me, but Whitney, like watching people, when everyone can do it for women when you're a guy, because you feel like you're selling 2 different tickets. It's
Totally.
difficult when you're watching like a guy just younger than you and better looking than you blow the fuck up. I think that's when but I kind of was like, I want to make sure I can really enjoy people blowing up, because that's the fun part of the business. And especially where you're at now is my favorite, because you're inspired and you have movement behind you, and now you get to pick your path and do the things you want to do, and that's the funnest part. I remember being there when I was finally selling some tickets, and I started Something's Burning, and then that kind of took off. And I remember being there, and I remember loving that energy. I remember doing what you did. The reason I thought of this, and I was trying to correlate was I remember when I was doing Something's Burning and we gang shot like 10 of them in New York.
Yeah.
That energy of making your own thing and having your own thing and being very comfortable doing your own thing. Like when I watch you doing your Fist of Fury,
Fist of Fury, yeah.
You're in your element and you're in your zone, and the key to this business is getting, by the way, do not take any advice I ever give. But having said that, the key to this business is that energy you have on Fists of Fury to have that in every project you do.
Yeah.
And so if you can find, because that's the weird part is like, if you get it booked on a sitcom, make sure that how you feel when you're doing that is how you feel when you do that. And then if you can do that across all, then everything you do is fucking as good as that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel right now. It's such a good feeling. So yeah, go watch Fist of Fury on YouTube. The new one should be out, I think, when this comes out.
Have I been saying Fists of Fury?
Just the last couple you said Fist of Fury, but it's okay.
My brain's farting. And by the way, thank you for helping me buy shoes for Leanne and the girls when we were in.
Oh my God, that was so fun.
Leanne still has those shoes.
I still have my stuff from the Adidas store. I still wear it all the fucking time. That was a blast. That was a great time.
Fucking great. Well, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you. I've kept you here for like 3 hours now.
It's okay.
So we should. You're like, well, this is like Rogan, but without any of the interesting things, or someone listening.
That's not true. We watched porn together. I did not think that was going to happen.
I'm glad that I now have a reference, because when I was telling you that side story, the secret story, that's what I thought it was. And I was like, yeah, I'd be upset too. Now that I know what it is, I'm like, it's a little different.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a dick to the face. That
is a big dick too.
Yeah.
Those guys have very big dicks.
It's bonkers. And they're not even that hard when it looks like.
I don't think they can. I think they lose consciousness. I think that something
blood would flow somewhere else.
Or they lose feelings in their legs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go get Mexican food. Okay. This was a fucking blast.
This was amazing.
Find her on tour. Find Fists of Fury. Wrists of Fury. Who did Fists of Fury? Is that a movie I saw?
Yes. It's
Danny McBride?
No, that's
No.
Balls of Fury. Fists of Fury is a martial arts old movie.
Yes, 1972.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Yeah.
I watched it with Patrice.
Okay.
But hey, congratulations on everything and thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me, Bert.
Of course.